Y'all. Hope everybody can hear me. I just decided to go live at the last minute. If I didn't let you know, I'm sorry. Like I said, I was just going live. I want to talk a little bit about um, my topic on tomorrow. I will be going over, well, first of all, I will be doing an interview with a young lady. Um, this young lady um, had liver cancer, and we'll be talking a little bit about her journey of having liver cancer, and she will be going over that, and she's also going to be talking about she had 15 months to live. I thought that was pretty interesting. You have 15 months to live and you know how you came to be where you are today. And I'm also gonna have one of her donor to come up and talk about um her, well, actually it's her niece who's the donor. Her niece donated um some of her liver and to her so that she can live because the doctors had given up all hope. So I will be sharing her story. Well, she will be sharing her story on tomorrow. So I hope that you guys will come through. It's going to be in the morning. I think I had it at 11:30 a.m. So it's going to be an early morning live. Well, not that early, but mid morning. And before I get out and about and start doing stuff. So she's going to be coming on tomorrow. Hey, Cece, how are you? How's everything been? Been very interesting out here on these YouTube streets. I have been laying low for good reason. Um, hey, Steve, I did put the link on my community wall for anybody that would like to come up. You are more than welcome. We just have two disclaimers. Don't come up here with no craziness. You will get blocked. Your ass will get blocked. Um, I'm not about any foolishness. Hey, CKJ. Hey, Betty. What's good? Um, you said I'll be in the, you will be listening. Oh, yeah. Please come through tomorrow. Like I said, this lady only had 15 months to live. So while people are on here acting a fool, doing what they do best, being the demon that they are, you have people that's actually fighting to live. And everybody's not as fortunate as this lady that I'll be interviewing tomorrow. No, most people, once they are terminally ill, you know, especially if they're in stage 4, it's extremely hard for people that are in straight stage 4 of cancer to get, to become a remission. It's also extremely difficult for people to get a donor. So that's why tomorrow I'm going to be really stressing how if you can be a donor for someone, everybody in your family is not a match. Say, for instance, if you need another kidney and one of your family members is actually have gotten tested and it is a match. And sometimes it's not always your family. Sometimes it could be outside people, like say for instance, someone gets in a car wreck and they're fatally wounded, where, and they end up being an organ donor on their driver's license. Well, whatever, organ that that person may need, especially if they're an organ donor, they will be able to give that organ to that person that's in need. But they have a list. It's a long list. Some people never are able to get a donor. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And those are real topics. Hey, Emmanuel. those are real topics to me that people need to be paying attention to. I'm an organ donor, so if I was something were to happen to me, you put that on your driver's license, whether you want to be on or organ donor or not. Something happened to me, I want to be of good use. So somebody can use something that they may need. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that tomorrow. So I hope you guys come by if you're at lunch or something. Just listen or whatever at the conversation. Press the like button. I would truly appreciate it. Because like I said, I don't know about you. Hey, R&B. But if I had 15 months to live, that would be devastating. Um, and people say they know what they will do. You don't never know what you will do until you are in a situation where you are desperate. And when you're desperate and you're on borrowed time, you will definitely be thinking differently about your life, how you see things, and hopefully you won't. But some people will never learn. They will die evil and mean spirited and think people owe them something when people owe you absolutely nothing. Um, it is a privilege uh, to it's a privilege to be a recipient of kindness, in this day and time. Because people don't have to be kind to you. People don't have to be nice to you. People don't have to give to you. They don't have to do none of that. Hey, Miss B, thank you. I appreciate you. They don't have to do nothing for you. So if you're a recipient of someone's kindness, be thankful. Um, be thankful. Be thankful that you can, hey Tay, be thankful that you can even be nice to people, kind to people. That's why when I've had some crazy people that think I care about anything they have to say concerning me, especially supporting me, more than likely I don't support you, so it doesn't matter. But I just have, some of the craziest things that people will say and do because they can't control or they can't, thank you so much, Tay. They can't control your platform or they can't control how you are. Um, like I said, I'm going to be me. I'm going to do my best to treat people right as much as I can. And if I can't fool with you, if I can't deal with you, you will forever be on my block list. And I have no problems with that. One thing I'm learning as I get older, when to uh, let go. That's a lesson that most people need to learn. If most people would learn to let go, hey, Deborah, if most people would learn to let go, um, there would be less resentment, bitterness in your life. You said someone I know got a lung transplant. It was rejected, got an infection, and she like, oh, that is horrible. Thank you so much, Miss B. Shout out to Miss B for the floating heart. I appreciate it. Those little gifts that we get. I appreciate that. And please press the like button since you came here to see what I had to say, or you're being a spectator to see if I'm going to talk about your favorite content creator. Please press the like button. And since because some people just come by to see what you have to say, but some people come by just to be nosy. Um, and I'm not going to say that's okay too, but you can go ahead and press the like button. I truly appreciate it. Tap the screen twice, please. Please and thank you. Um, Back to what I was saying. If people would learn to let go, there would be less resentment and less bitterness. I learned to let go very well. That is a gift that I give anybody that don't want to stay around me. That is a gift that I give anybody that I don't want to be bothered with. The gift of letting go. Thank you, Miss B. Isaiah 43 and 18 says, remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Right. It's about pressing towards letting those things behind you and pressing towards the things that's in front of you. Okay. So I have the gift of letting go. I do it very well, especially when I know people don't value my time. They don't value me as a person. I will let you the hell go. And I think if more people were like that, we would be less angry about those that don't want to stay. We will be less angry about those that don't value us or those that are not good for us, you know, and we will press on to the things that are worth actually pressing on to. I had some great things to happen for me this week. I'm not going to go into detail due to the fact on the atmosphere that I'm in and how you have people monitoring your pages that are witches and warlocks. They don't know it, but they are because they are very manipulative and evil in their devices. But I learned to watch what I say. Everything that you have been blessed with, everything you have going great in your life, is not always good for you to share to the masses. You have to learn when to shut up. That's another thing you will learn as you get older. You will learn to let people and let things go. You will also learn to shut up and not overshare. One thing that women do, but well, I'm gonna say some, well, I'm gonna say maybe most, we overshare. We talk too much. We tell people what's in our left hand, what's in our right hand. We share so much to where when things are sabotaged or things are kind of messed with, I would say in the spiritual realm, we get upset, but we can't blame anyone but ourselves. We have to learn that everyone that seems like they're a brother or a sister or a friend or something like that, they may not very well may not be. So you have to learn to be able to keep some things to yourself. Hey, Ryan, you have to learn. Good night. I appreciate you, but you have to learn to keep some things to yourself. Stop oversharing with people that you don't know, even those you do know. I always like to allow things to happen before I start speaking on things. So when they happen, I can say thank God and I can share it to the people that I trust to share it to at that time. You said I have to use discernment. I know my discernment is being tested on who I choose to support. Um, yeah, and you will learn as you watch people. Discernment is really about observing people, seeing kind of seeing where people's mindsets are. You can't really look inside anybody's heart to see what they're about, but you can go by their fruits. And I'm talking about, hey, Easy did it. I'm talking about uh what they do. What they do, you can go by what people do, and you will see what's in people's hearts. When people are very tacky, they are a tacky person. That is in their heart to be tacky, and being tacky is sometimes being senseless, not having any lack of discretion or discernment, lack of caring for other people's feelings. Those are the type of things that you will see, and those are the fruits of people, their behavior. Okay. So when people talk about your fruits, they're talking about your behavior, what you have shown people. And like I said, if you talk less and listen more, you'll find out a lot more on who people really are. I don't do a lot of talking. I just learned to kind of observe, and when I observe a person, as you know, as the urban community will say, a fuck nigga or a fuck, B or whatever. And forgive me for, I'm just, I'm talking about in layman's terms, my urban terms. Basically, somebody that's full of manure, um, you learn how to deal with them accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to tell you that I see that full of, you know, I can just see it and be like, okay, well, I know how to deal with that person, or I know not to deal with that person, right? So, you will. definitely learn as you get older, Miss V. It takes a lot more observing and listening rather than talking. Hey, writers, you'll find out less talking, more listening will help you a lot along the way. You won't be as deceived when you pay attention and stop talking so much. A lot of times we give our enemies game plans because of our, talking. We just talk too much. We just overshare. Everybody doesn't need to have your information. Everybody's not deserving of that. um, Most of the time, people just want to be nosy to see what you have to say so that they can use it when they get mad at you. And once they use it when they get mad at you, you done messed up because now they have some type of ammunition. And don't forget, they'll add a lot with it. So you have people that will add stuff to what you done said, and there you go. You're in a whole bunch of drama. Hey, J Squad, how are you? I'm not really into horoscopes, but I am not an Aquarius. That's for sure. Uh, I don't get into that as like I used to. When I found out it was associated with the occultic black arts, but I am. Well, I'm gonna say that I am under the Sagittarius sign. I'll say that. But I'm Selena, so I don't define myself to a horoscope sign. I define myself as who I am. Um, and that's another thing. I'm learning to define myself on not on what other people have to say. If you look on my community wall, I do have a link if anybody wants to come up, and hopefully it'll be somebody that I desire to come up instead of someone I just don't want to tolerate. But and I will let you know because tonight is the night that you could probably get it. But let me say this: I define myself on who I am from my heritage, who I believe to be, how I move. That's how I define myself. If you look on my community wall, you see my beautiful ancestor, and I have a lot of beautiful ancestors. Um, I would put people's pictures up, but because people are so weird, um, and they like to dox and find your people and do things. I don't put everything up, of course. Every now and then you'll see me put up something. A couple of years ago, hey, pretty brown eyes. A couple of years ago, I put my great great grandfather. He was like a. I don't know if you guys remember that. If you go down my timeline, he was a Creole looking person. You know, um, very unusual looks, but he was a nice looking man. He was very, I would say, peculiar looking, a little different. But he's a Creole. Um, then I put up my other ancestor up. I'm not going to say who, but well, I'll go ahead and say it's one of my great aunts. I'll just go ahead and say that one of my grandfather's sisters, because he had many siblings. So I put her up, but I come from good stock. I say that all the time because I know where I came from. People on YouTube, people hey, Candyman, how are you? I'm gonna get you for yesterday though. People from YouTube and all these other people, they cannot define you. Please don't let people define you for the things that they say or what they do, how they see you. As you look on my community, well, I come from good stock. Um, I'm gonna tell you, if I do have ugly people in my family, it's few and far in between. And most of the time, it's not because they're ugly; it's because they have lived a lifestyle that has caused their looks to fail. But they came into the world because, like I said, I come from good stock. But most of all, not just because of looks, it's also because of who I am as a person and how I was raised. You see, a lot of the times when I come on here, you don't see me huffing and puffing and cussing a lot. Really, I really try to not put on the front with people. I really try to maintain myself because of how I've been raised. And when you've been raised a certain way, you can't come on YouTube or any public platform and start acting a fool. Now, there is times I will meet you where you are. And but then I have a come to Jesus meeting, and then I'll get it corrected, because I understand how I have been raised, and I understand that people don't like when you're level headed. People don't like when you're in control of your emotions. They want you to get out of yourself and out of your body so that people can laugh and say, see, she ain't no better than none of us. He ain't no better than none of us, that kind of thing. So you have to remember, if you have been raised by decent human beings and not been raised by wolves, that you actually have some type of sense and you can be level headed and you can learn to be have some self control. That's what you should try to do. Because one thing about it, unfortunately, we don't have a device where we can punch people through the computer or the phone. I can't punch you or slap you. The only thing I can do is cuss at you, maybe dox you or something like that, or you can, or vice versa. But really, we can't, or we can't do that. Or we have to meet up. And so, and you know how that goes when people meet up, because I'm gonna have a weapon. I don't know about you, but I can put hands and feet on you. But at the end of the day, more than likely, I'm going to have a weapon. You might have a weapon too. So I don't think that's a good idea. I think people need to just keep it YouTube. But unfortunately, we don't have that device where we can just reach out and touch someone through the phone or through the computer, which would be an excellent device. Because some people need to get slapped and punched through the computer and through the phone. Thank you so much, Miss B. I think that would be an excellent device. So when I understand that I come from good stock, and I deal with people accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And plus I'm a grown woman. So me going around here acting like I'm in high school would not be beneficial to me or anybody else that would be listening actually. They would just say, "Oh, she went off," and she gave him the smoke and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, but then at the end of the day, I think YouTube, any social media platform that these people be on, doing the most, it's like a big high school out here. You got the nerds, you got the jocks, you got the beauty queens, the popular ones, you got the, wildflowers, you got all types of stuff. Just like, hey Billy, I think this is Billy. What was it? I don't understand these. I don't understand why YouTube changed people's uh name into a handle name. I'm not understanding this. So I don't know who you are, S, but hey, how you doing? I think you might be Miss Sherry, but I'm not for sure. But I'm glad to see you. Yes, there's so many different sectors. And I think that's a good thing about YouTube. You have so many different sectors on here. So there's different. Hey, Lionel, you love my. I love my handle name. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why they did that though. That's kind of weird. It's like they be changing stuff in the. I don't know. They just change stuff, and you like, what the hell, you know? But yeah, there's so many different sectors that people can be engaged in. And so it's just like high school. Everybody's in a different group of people. It is, everybody got a category, everybody got a level where they are. You said it's not weird, it's my whole identity. Okay, good, Lionel. That's wonderful. Okay. Yeah, so everybody in a different category on here. Like I said, you got some people want to be popular. You got some people that would do the most to be seen. The bullies, you got the bullies. You little puny beauty bullies, people that ain't never had nothing, ain't never been nothing in life, and come on YouTube pretending to be a character and want to bully folks. And so then say they got victims and all of that. That's pretty high school to me. You said high school is no different than the workplace. Yeah, workplace can be like that too. You just have a lot of immature people that congregate, and you got to learn how to maneuver. You have to learn how to, the work politics. You have to learn good communication. One thing people do lack, I think, and I think a lot of us lack that because we weren't taught that because our parents didn't know it and their parents didn't know it, is how to communicate with people properly. And what I mean by communicate with people, I'm not talking about when you get mad, cussing folks out. Now there is times where that may be needed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some people, you definitely have to let them know, don't do me, don't do me, boo. But there is times where people need to learn how to have a communication, and be, diplomatic and be not only diplomatic but also listen, be a good listener. Um, don't I know some people when they're in arguments, they are always having a response rather than learning to listen to what the person is actually saying because they're on a defense. Um, and that puts the other person in offense. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn to listen to people and see what they're saying and not always have a response ready for them. I used to do that before a person could even finish something. I would have a response, and I missed the whole thing of what the person is saying. The person said, "That's not what I meant." And then I said, okay, so what did you mean? So I had to learn to settle down, quit getting so excited, listen to what a person is saying. And once they finish saying what they need to say, then let me respond. But I had already had a response, you know, um, before I even, before they even finish. So that's not effective communication. Effective communication is actually listening to a person, the other party, and then waiting and then responding, and not responding in a way where I'm already starting an argument because I'm already feeling away. So people just do it. We all do it. I've made so many mistakes doing that. And so now I just learned to just kind of just like let me calm down and hear what you have to say before I respond because the way I might respond may not be appropriate, you know. And so that's the part of what people hate when you try to be level headed. Well, yes, in Proverbs 15:1, it does say, thank you so much, Miss B. It says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but a grievous word stirs up anger. So sometimes the soft answer can be condescending, it could be sarcastic. So you definitely have to be careful about when you're trying to be soft, don't be condescending, don't be sarcastic, don't try to make a person feel down, less than in your condescending undertone. So you do have to be careful about that. But you do come out a little better when you lower your tone, like lowering your tone like this and having a conversation with a person because this is a situation that could go left like 0 to 100 real quick. So you have to know, okay, let me lower my voice, let me explain what I'm saying, because we can turn up, you know what I'm saying? So I had to do a lot of that where I had to kind of lower my voice, not be condescending as I'm expressing myself to people. But that's for people that, like especially when I'm at work or people I really care about. And even people I don't care about, it just depends. Um, Especially if I already don't like you, more than likely, I don't want to have a conversation with you. That's just a done deal for me. Um, Unless there's actually a person that I don't like that might want to be like, you know what, I just want to have a conversation. I want to see if we can resolve this. And then, I'll try to put on my grown woman or the grown woman panties on and then maybe have a conversation with a person that I may not like or I may not agree with. And and then I'll try to be, very calm, very respectful. Like I said, it depends on how you kind of come at me. especially if I don't. Now I'm talking about if I don't like you already. Um, if I don't like you already, more than likely I'm not going to tolerate a conversation with you at all because I've already have my defense up, and anything you say, I can read it wrong because I already don't like you. But if you come at me in a way where it's respectful, more than likely I'm going to be respectful to you, whether I like you or not. I do know how to be grown about something. Some things I'm going to say 90%. I'm gonna say 90% of the time I try to really be very peaceful with people. I don't have problems with people because number one, in my real life, this is what I'm talking about in my real life. I'm not talking about YouTube world. In my real life, um, I'm very reserved. I'm to myself. I have a small group of people that I deal with. I know a lots of people. I'm kind of one of those people when I have fun, I have fun. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people. I can have fun with everyone, but I there's only a few people that I really allow to get close to me. You know what I'm saying? So um, and I just learned that everyone has different boundaries with you in your life. Everybody shouldn't be that close to you. And when people learn to do that, you will have less problems, less problems dealing with people. Um, you said because you're used to a pattern. Can you explain that, Lionel? I would appreciate it if you can explain that. Um, said a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people talking patterns, so that why you answer. Finish. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Some folks are intolerable. Oh, yes. Oh, very much so. Some people are very intolerable. I'm telling you, I don't want to talk to you. I need you to stay from the east, from far as the east to the west from me, north to south. Just stay away from me. Those type of people, I do not. I mean, I do not tolerate. There's certain people I don't want to talk to you because I want to reach out and touch you. And so when you get to that point where you want to reach out and touch people, you definitely need to stay far away from them if you know what's good for you. If you're trying to keep from, someone unaliving you or you unaliving another person, it should never get that far. Just stay away from them. You know, if they come around in your vicinity, move around. I can't deal with grown folks who can't recognize when they are wrong. Right. I can't either. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say 85% of the time I'm right about how I do things. I'm just gonna say that. The other part, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I have gotten so many wake up calls on myself as far as like certain things that I do that is not good, that is very inappropriate. That I misjudge people sometimes. Um, I don't always get it right, but sometimes that gut feeling, and I said, you know what? Let me observe. Let me not rush to a conclusion. Let me just wait this thing out. But then I end up being right. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, yeah, that was my gut. That was my discernment saying, hold up, shit, you might need to look at this. So there is some times where I have been wrong. I have jumped out the window. Uh, I have jumped out the window on certain things. I've misjudged people. Um, what else I've done? Sometimes in the past, I haven't took accountability for certain things. Um, what else I have did? Sometimes I spoke on things that I shouldn't have. So there's some things that I have done that I'll take accountability on certain things. But the people that I cannot and will not deal with is a person that will never accept their accountability. They'll never accept when they're wrong about something and say, well, that person shouldn't have did this. But what did you do? See, it always goes back to when we're pointing at somebody else, let's point it back at us. So when it's a person, they can never accept when they're wrong. They never see another person's side of the side of the story. It's all by how they see it. They have already lost. They have already the guilty party because they can't see any of their accountability in the situation. And those are the type of people that you might need to stay far away from because that is a lack of maturity. It's a lack of being genuine. It's just really it's a bad character flaw when people cannot accept their accountability. They can't ever accept when they're wrong about something. Listen, none of us are perfect. We're going to be wrong on something. Everybody in the whole world is going to be wrong on something. It's about you accepting accountability and not making excuses for, well, this person shouldn't have did this. But what did you do? See, it always comes back to you. You're pointing at the other person or you're pointing at the other people when you need to be looking at yourself. You need to be looking at yourself. And your granny is at home or in the grave. So while you over here, let me see if I can 86K your ass. Mm, yeah, let me get your ass up out of here. Yeah. So while you worried about me, your granny's in the grave or at home. Don't come here. Don't play with me. Hey James. James I said James. James 5:16, confess your faults to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. Exactly. Um, you definitely have to be very cautious of, you know, what you do and quit trying to make an excuse for your actions. If you're wrong, you're just wrong. Like I may have been wrong. Probably, yeah, I was wrong for probably telling this troll that that his granny was in the grave. I should have just deleted him and kept it moving, but I wanted to say it. I'm sorry. Let me take accountability for that. I did want to say it because I can't stand disrespectful people when you're not disrespectful. One thing that the internet has created, which I think is just terrible, is people that are trying to be um, trolls, and they can hide up under these accounts. I wish that their accounts can be exposed. Um, but I really wish that that's one thing about social media. People can hide behind these trolls accounts and they can be the most disrespectful human being. How about just not being disrespectful to people that you don't know that haven't did anything to you? And even if you think you know them and you don't like them, how about not come to their page? How about that? So I will take accountability for my action. I'm gonna be honest with you, I felt justified, but it felt good to push that 86 uh button, just 86 you out of here. Actually, just hide your butt. Just stay away from over here. And like I said, go find your granny at home, sir, ma'am, whoever you are. But back to what I was saying. Um, if you haven't noticed by now, I have an extremely smart mouth because I have been equipped uh, to deal with idiots. I don't deal with them daily because, like I said, again, when you mind your business and you stay in your lane, you don't really have. I don't have a lot of real enemies in my real life. Now, YouTube, that's a different story because people on YouTube think they know you. So that's a lot different. But actually, they think they know you more than the people that actually know you. So that's pretty interesting. But again, like I said, I'm not worried about that. like I said, I'm just learning that to let me define who I am, not worrying about what it, other people have to say. Take accountability when I, excuse me, need to take accountability, stop oversharing, um, and do less talking and more listening to what and watch what people do. Intriguing. Hi, Big Von. I don't know what's intriguing, but I hope it's good. I hope it's good that I'm intriguing. Um, I guess nobody wants to come up today because I did put my link on my community wall, and I said anybody that would like to come up, you're more than welcome. I don't usually do the YouTube live streams because I'm still learning how to work this stuff. I got to figure out how to connect my StreamYard with the vertical live, and I'm gonna figure that out before the summer. Sometimes I just go live when I decide to go live, and whoever's up, if they want to come around, they'll come around. But since I don't do a lot about drama and stuff, I try to stay far from that because, like I said, these people will try to pull you in and they won't let you go. They're like octopuses. They try to get you reel your ass in, and then after that, you pretty much if you in it, you in it. So you gotta it's like sink or swim. You said, "Hey, Selena, it's really a need. I really need to hear this. This is speaking to an issue that I experienced today." Yeah, and like I was telling you, the other thing that I've learned also was to let go. Let people go. Let people go on about their way. Um, you said good because that is toxic and bad energy. Hmm. Yeah, it depends on what you're talking about. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, there's some things people need to know their boundaries when they come around you. And I don't care if I'm on YouTube, I don't care if I'm in real life. You're gonna have boundaries with me. Um, I'm not a disrespectful person, so therefore, I do not accept anybody disrespecting me, and I don't care who you are. Um, you could be President Trump. Trump. You can be um, the person, my neighbor, whoever you are. If I'm not a disrespectful person, you're not going to be disrespectful to me. So a lot of times I create boundaries on my channels. I don't let people come up here thinking they can say and do anything. We're not doing that. This is my platform. You are free to move wherever you want to go. I always say that people need to, practice their freedom. So if you don't like what I have to say, or you don't like how I move, or you don't like my content, that's perfectly fine. That's why people need to move around and find the content creator, find the what you find interesting, and go there. But you don't have to be disrespectful to people that you don't know. I create boundaries. And if I created boundaries a long time ago, a lot of things I wouldn't have experienced. But because I wasn't wise enough and I didn't create boundaries, I got into a lot of situations that I shouldn't have got into because I did not create boundaries. So when I create the boundary, when I create the standard for myself, that nobody's going to disrespect me on my platform, then that's exactly what I mean. So a lot of the times I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna live and let go, but that doesn't mean that I won't have fire for that butt. You know, I will meet you where you are sometimes, and then leave you there. You know what I'm saying? So I create boundaries and I set standards for how I want to move. I don't try to, well, I'm learning not to allow other people's opinions on how I should move, what standards I should make for myself, to make me move the way they want me to move. You know what I'm saying? And I let people go on about their way with their bad energy and all. But I always, once I say what I have to say, I get back on my good energy. Because, like I said again, I determine how I'm going to respond, and I determine what I will take and what I won't take. I'm learning this now. Manipulators hate it when you set boundaries. Yeah, manipulators, trolls, evil people. You know what I'm saying? How do I define evil? Hmm. Let me see. I define evil people that, you know, they have no care. Hey, outlaw, they have no care about anybody's feelings. They are constantly very manipulative. They're deceiving. Um, they have nothing good for anyone. It's all about them, what they feel, how they feel, what they want. They have no regard for anyone. Um, they don't care if they hurt people. They don't care what they do to other people as long as they're getting what they need out of the situation. It could be power, it could be control, it could be a lot of different ways of why a person is evil. But that's how I see an evil person. They have no regard for anyone. They care no way, any way, on how they affect other people's lives. They only want to cause hurt and harm on a person. That's evil to me. Um, so as much as some people want to think that I'm an evil person, which they do not know me in my real personal life, you haven't met an evil person, ma'am or sir. I would say keep living. And as the older people say, when when you haven't lived life, and an older person said, keep living, you'll find out. Um, yeah, I ain't got nothing on a lot of these folks on here, even folks that's not on here. You know what serial killers are? Do you know what people that go and just kill innocent children? That's what you call evil. They have no regard for human life. They have no regard for anyone. They It's all about what they want to do. They don't care about how they hurt, harm, destroy. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and that's what evil people do. They kill, steal, and destroy. They try to steal your joy. They try to steal your happiness, whatever you have good going on for you. They want to destroy that. That's what evil people do. So those type of people, I leave alone. And I try my best every day not to be one of those, to have some concern about other folks, to not be about me, myself, and I. That's the worst thing to be. Well, and that's another thing. I ain't gonna say I hate. I strongly dislike. Um, I strongly dislike real selfish people. Now, as human beings, we all have a certain portion, or I'm gonna say a percentage of selfishness. Okay, we're human beings. We always were taught, for survival of the fittest. Take care of yourself first. You can't take care of nobody. You have to take care of yourself first. That's what we've been taught for the most part. Any human being that's been alive, our parents tell us you need to take care of yourself. Don't trust nobody. Make sure you're good. Before anybody else. That's what most of us have been taught. Now, some of us have been taught to be very selfless, and put yourself last and all that. But most of us, it's about survival of the fittest. So we all have a percentage of selfishness, okay, to an extent. But some people are just so selfish they can't see nothing beyond what they want out of it, what they feel that they deserve. And that comes with entitlement to me. It's like selfish and entitlement go hand in hand for some reason to me. But, selfishness to me is just like I have to have it all. It's my story, it's my time, it's what I want, you know. And every time you turn around, it's those type of people. They don't have no regard for anybody's feelings. They don't care. And then they say they do care, but they so worried about what they gonna get out of the deal. Them type of people I can't stand. I recognize when I'm being overly selfish and I say, you know what, Selena, don't do that. You gotta care a little bit more about other people sometimes. It can't always be about you. You can't always be the the storyline. You can't always be me, myself, and I. You got to learn that other people got feelings too. And so when you get when as I say, when you get grown, when you start having maturity about yourself and you have wisdom, you learn that it ain't always about you. You got to learn to look beyond and outside of yourself sometimes and see maybe how another person may feel. When a person is just too selfish, they ain't got time to see or hear on nobody's side. They don't care. It's all about what they want. You know, I don't like dealing with people like that. So that's why I say that's another thing. I stay far away from people that have that type of selfishness about themselves. It's all about them. You said Proverbs 4:16, for they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Yeah, very mischief. There's a lot of mischievousness and there's a lot of hatefulness that some people just they're just so selfish to where it's like they don't see anybody but themselves. And that's a really sad way to be. And I don't care, I'm dating right now, but I don't care if I ever get married. That's one thing. That's why a lot of people don't stay married long. It's not so much because of it could be money, it could be sex, or whatever, that's a factor too. But a lot of things, I think that relationships don't work out because you got either two real selfish people or one person that's more selfish than the other, and they can't even try to accept their accountability on their selfishness. They just say, "Well, it's me," you know. That's what some people. Hey, young Reds. That's what some people say. They say, "Well, that's just who I am. That's how I am." That's selfish to me. Like you can't see nothing else. It's all about you. So when you have a person that's like that, and most of the time those people uh have been you said some will never mature, no matter yeah. So when you see a person that's that selfish, and most of the time it be people because I was talking to a friend today and I was telling her about, certain people they be, how you can be spoiled when you was young and your parents either or your parent gave you pretty much whatever you wanted, so when you get into the real world and when things don't go your way, because you're so used to being things handed to you, and you so used to having it, the way you want it, and then you trying to include other people in your life, like in relationships, whether it's platonic or romantically, you don't even know how to be given, and you don't even know how to be, I would say, reciprocal to somebody else because it's all about you. To me, that's just and that's why I said sometimes it's not good for parents to spoil their children because they think that everything is going to be like that when they get grown, in dealing with other people. You know, I I was spoiled to a certain extent, and hey, Martin, I was spoiled to a certain extent. I was spoiled in a way where I still could learn how to not be so self centered where it wasn't always about me. And that took some work. Number one, I was spoiled, number one, because out of, I think it was 60 something, 67 grandchildren, I was the youngest of the first generation. So I was already spoiled. Okay, just be honest. I was raised up as the youngest and the only child, even though I had other siblings, but my other siblings was a lot older than me. So I grew up kind of spoiled. But then when I got up, like in my 20s, I saw I had to work. I had to get out on my own and do what I need to do. And my dad kind of pulled back to where I had to learn. So I couldn't be like, Daddy, I need this, y'all, I need this, going to my family for stuff. I had to learn how to get it on my own. And that taught me, and I think my dad did that for a good reason because he knew that he wasn't going to, like, your family, your parents are not going to be there all the time. If you have decent parents and they try to do what is right, they're not going to be there for you all the time. They might die, something may happen. where they can't really do what they need to do. So you have to learn how to get it. But then when you've always had like, maybe people that have always been there for you and they've always rescued you, you never sometimes learn. Then you go into these friendships and relationships and it's always about you. You don't ever think about how other person may feel because you don't care. And because you haven't been taught to get beyond what you see it, which is yourself. So I hope I'm making sense here. I know I'm just talking, but I hope I'm making sense to you guys. But a lot of times we focus so much on ourselves where we can't ever see another person's point of view, another person, what they're going through, another person's feelings, or how their perspective may be. Because we so busy looking at us and what we feeling and how we see things, and I think that that's really sad, and we have to get beyond that. Like I said, I'm glad that when I was in my 20s, my dad and some of my family kind of pulled back and allowed me to figure it out. And when I had to learn to figure it out, I ended up started making my own decisions, and I started to learn how to make the right decisions. What were the wrong decisions? Then I also learned that it's not all about me. Other people have feelings. Other people feel, that I'm involved with. I have to learn how to, either I'm going to be reciprocal or I'm going to leave the person alone. So I think if people would learn that, we all would be better. We'll have better relationships, and I'm glad that I'm finally learning that, and not waiting until I'm old and gray, and still trying to figure out, well, why is it that nobody don't like me or want to be around me? Because you are just extremely selfish. You may be nice on the surface, but when people actually get to know you and have to be in a relationship with you, then they really dread. It's really a bad experience because you may not be just an evil person, but your actions are just so self-centered. It nobody can deal with you. So yeah, they may sleep with you, they may go places with you and do things with you, but it's gonna be short and long, not long lived. I can tell you that. Nobody wants to be around somebody where it's all about them. You said a lot of self-absorbed people who lack empathy. Yeah, Miss B. It's a lot of people that lack empathy. They lack sympathy. They have no regards of anyone but themselves. That is a really sad life to live. I think of people that are like that, that are kind of well to do financially. Those people that are well to do, they can buy almost anything or anything. They can get any woman, get any man. They don't have to work for much because of their looks or because of how much money they have or their influence or whatever. And they have so much great things going on. But one thing, the flaw that keeps them around, to keeps them from genuine people, yeah, Lionel. The things that keep them from genuine good people is their lack of sympathy and empathy, their selfishness. And when you find a person that, has all these great things, they can get any woman, they can get any man, they can go anywhere they want to around the world. They have Most of the time those people have no regards for other folks. Not all, but some. They have no regards for other people's feelings. They could care less for how you feel, what you're going through, with whatever they did. They could care less. They just you know, go about in the world, living their life and forgetting the people that are actually was there to help them, there to encourage them when they needed a word, was there to pray for them, was there to love them, there to show them empathy and sympathy. But because they were so self-absorbed and self-centered and with their arrogance, they can't even see um, the gifts that they have in front of them. Because a lot of the times, those type of people, they look at people as chess pieces. They'll move you around over here. They'll move the queen over. They'll move you wherever they need to get that. I think it's the queen. You know what I'm saying? They'll just move you around. And their final goal is to get what they ultimately want, whatever it is. They don't care about you. They'll move your ass around somewhere else over there. You be like, dang, I thought, no, you're nothing. You're nothing to them. So those type of self-absorbed, self-centered, selfish people are the people that, we definitely don't need to be, and we definitely don't need to have those type of people around us. Um, you said P. Diddy. I'm right, Lionel. But they seem to be miserable. Some of these people seem to be really doing good. Well, maybe it's the front that they put on that they're really doing good. Because like I said, they can go anywhere in the country, in the state. They can look good. They can have any man, they can have any woman. They don't have to work for nothing. People just fall at their feet, you know. So to me, they seem like they got it going on. But maybe they don't. Maybe it's different, and really when they really are by themselves and have to be by themselves, and then they have to see that, hey, I'm really not as happy as I come out to be. Maybe it's a lot of folks that's like that seem like they have it all together, and they really don't. Because I was thinking about somebody. It was somebody I was talking to. I can't even think of who the person was, but it was a conversation I was having with someone, and the person was saying, I seem like I have it all together, but really, I'm struggling emotionally. I forgot who it was, but anyway, it was a conversation I had with somebody, and I said, that's pretty amazing how we can view people to have it all when they really be struggling. They really be crying at night. They really be struggling with depression. They can't smile. You would think they'd be smiling and doing all that because they got it all together. Some of them people are the most, I guess, miserable people, Deborah, because I have had people that I thought, I'm like, you should be happy. You got this, you're doing this. You can go wherever you want to go. You got the money to do and maneuver anywhere you want to, do what you want to do. But some of them people are really miserable. Pretty interesting. I would think you would be happy. Shout out to R and B. You said Psalms 37 and 16. A little that's righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. Yes, indeed. I'd rather have a little and be happy and have peace rather than have it all. And I just can't even smile. I'm the kind of person, I don't do a lot of fake smiling. I hate when you catch people staring at you. And women have that bad. You catch them staring at you and they'll try to give you that little hi, you caught me staring at you smile, and then they turn it off, that kind of smile. But when I smile, I truly smile with my eyes. And what I mean by that, it's kind of weird. Some Because the older lady had told me that before. When people can sense the joy in your smile, and they can sense it they can see how you light up when you're smiling. Um, or through your eyes. There's a lot of people that put on fake smiles, and you're like, hi, and then they, you know, take the smile off. But when you really smile, your eyes light up, and people know that it's genuine. If they're really intuitive, they can pretty much tell. I know I can. I can tell when somebody's, that fake smile, because when they do that fake smile, I'll be like, and I just turn my head and go on about my business. I'm like, yo, that's fake. But there's some people like, and I'm one of those people. When I smile, I really smile and my eyes light up because I'm either happy to see you, I'm happy to be in your presence. There's something about you or something about the situation that gives me so much happiness and joy. And joy is more of, I would say, something that um, it's like regardless of what's going on or what's not going on, you're still good. And happiness is situational. Like it's an event that happens that make you happy, or something that makes you happy. A person makes you happy. But joy is something that you understand that, regardless, I'm still good. I'm still pleased with my life. I'm not on the streets. And you just be thankful and you understand that joy is something that is an ongoing thing. It's who you are, if you have it. Um, and regardless of what I don't have or do have, I'm still good. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm thankful for that. And happiness to me is something like a situation or an event that happens, a person, that I'm happy to see. You gain happiness from certain things, but I sense when I'm happy about something, I really sense you can sense it in the way I smile and how my eyes light up. So I don't ever take pictures when I'm just like feeling down or I'm like, let me just do something. You know what I'm saying? Usually I take pictures because I'm happy at the time, I'm joyous at that time, I'm glad I'm alive, I'm glad I don't look like a wildebeest. There's some things about me that I am just really joyous or happy about. And that's when I take pictures. So those are things that you can tell. You can't fake a smile, um, but you can fake being happy. And that's that little smirk or that little smile that people do. And when they catch you staring and stuff like that, or when you trying to act like everything is good, you can fake a smile. You can fake a smile, but people that are really, like I said, people that's intuitive, they know the difference. They know the difference between a fake smile and a genuine smile. But I don't even know how I got onto that. But basically, what I'm saying is, a lot of the times that people, you think they have it all together, and they don't. They can't even fake it. If they do smile, it's a fake smile. And then if they most of the time they ain't smiling, because they really not happy. They have everything to be happy and thankful about, but they still not happy. That's why so many people be unaliving themselves. You say, how do you feel about becoming collateral damage because someone else's actions are beef? I'm gonna be honest with you. I um I don't like it. I think people just need to be held accountable, for what they do and what they bring others into. Um, and when people are not willing to do that and still are justified by what they do, then that's a major character flaw. If you want to give me my honest opinion, um, I learned to stop making other people collateral damage. I learned to deal with what I have an issue with a person, and I leave it on that person. I don't try to bring other people in what I got going on, even if they feel the exact same way that I feel or not, or even if they alluded to something or not. I always try to deal with the issue at hand with what I feel, not what another person may feel with me and agree with me. Um, that comes with maturing, because when you learn to separate things and you learn to understand that my feelings and how I want to deal with things don't have nothing to do with somebody else. Miss V, how you handle something and how I handle something, or how you, even if you agree with me, the two total different ways. You may be a person that may feel a way. Say, for instance, if you coming to me and telling me about the same person that I might not like, right? And you are just venting to me and having a conversation like, am I tripping? I don't understand this, sudden. And I'll be like, yeah, girl, I'm with you. I don't like this, or I don't like what this person did, right? But I have a situation where I'm going at this person. I'm gonna leave it with me and that person. I'm not gonna pull you in it, Miss B. So to answer your question, I'm not gonna pull you in it, because I understand my issue is my issue. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Now, if you want to bring it to that person's attention, if you want to have an issue with that person and speak on it, that's on you. But my issue is my issue with that person. And you, CC, or nobody else is going to be my collateral damage because that's my issue. Right? And what I also mean by collateral damage is someone you rock with has beef with someone else. By default, they come for you. Uh-huh. Right. And that happens. Especially on YouTube or any other social media platform. And that's why I always that's why I've told you in recent months, be careful who you deal with on and offline. Make sure that you understand when you're dealing with people. If you tell them something, then more than likely, unless you're dealing with someone that is discreet like you, more than likely it's going to get back to the other person, and then it's going to take legs and walk. Because what you said, it might not have been what it was, how it came out to the other person. So you have to make sure that whatever you say, just know if unless you're dealing with someone discreet and understands privacy and understands letting stuff be behind the scenes, then more than likely it will be repeated and it will take legs and walk and be added, stuff be added to it. So you have to understand that. And that's why I said I'm learning to create boundaries with people. So when you create boundaries with people, you understand that there's certain things or certain people I can't talk to, I won't discuss because I understand what it may cause for me, right? So I personally learned to create my own boundaries so that I won't be uh in some stuff and get into some stuff that I don't have any business being in, right? So boundaries are definitely important, whether you're on YouTube or in your real life with people, and understand that when you're dealing with people, unless they have a like mind like you, but if they have loose lips, you know, then you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Another thing you have to be careful about, befriending people. I have a temper. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a really bad temper when I really get upset. But it takes me a little bit to get there. Now than it used to be when I was younger. When I was younger, I'll pop off in a minute. So it takes me a little bit longer now, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. But when you have people that are kind of loose lips and they kind of have a temper too, and they just blurt out things, those are the people you definitely need to not say nothing to. You know what I'm saying? But that comes with living and learning, Miss V. When you're dealing with people, you learn different people's personalities. You see how people react to certain things that they deal with, and then you go from there. But you also have to take accountability when you knew maybe a person has certain type of traits or behaviors, and you still engaged. So that comes with accountability too. You know what I'm saying? So accountability on your part, boundaries is I would say, is the best way that you should have. Dankus, how are you? Thank you for coming through. You said, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. You said, I'm big on integrity, and if someone is wrong, they are wrong. I agree. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So if another person wrong, they're not above me. They're not above anybody, you know. Again, I told you I've been wrong. I've misjudged people. I have not taken accountability on certain things. I'm talking about in my real life, and maybe every now and then I have done something, haven't taken accountability on here, and I had to kind of, get some, That's why hey, Sharice, that's why I have certain people now that I will ask for advice, and it's a very very small group. And that's another thing. You have to know who to vent to. So everybody is not meant for you to vent to. Number one, some people don't give a damn. That I'm gonna say 99% of people don't give a damn. And I'm gonna say the other side is People that have loose lips think shit. People that talk a lot, especially when they get upset. Those type of people, you can't. You have to create boundaries with folks, and some people just it's just not worth engaging. So I think a lot of the times when you um, become an adult, you kind of learn who to deal with and who not to deal with, who to vent to, who not to vent to, who to trust, who not to trust. People will show you who they are. Believe them. Don't act like, oh, it was just they had a bad day. They had a bad day. This is how they reacted. So believe it. Just like believe me, if I do something and I blatantly say I did it, or I blatantly show you that I did something, believe me, because I'm not acting at that time. I'm not pretending to be somebody else. I'm really showing you, yeah, I'm this type of person or I'm that type of person. I'm not talking about don't go on for what people say because people could be lying on people too. A lot of times people be lying on folks, especially if they don't really know them. They just going by their perception and they're going by distorted perception, especially if they don't like them. I'm talking about people that you actually know or you observe and you kind of seen their behavior over time. Then believe them. They're not going to be. They're most of the time when people do things in a situation, um, they're not lying about who they are. You just have to pay attention, right? Just have to pay attention. But I learned that a lot of times, um, I don't care how much you try to tell people they're wrong on something. Um, Eventually life will catch up with them and they'll be faced with a situation where the exact same thing that they did to someone else, it will be done to them. So that's why I said don't you have to know that a lot of the times allow people to do what they are going to do because they will be faced with the same situation or situations and then they'll go through it and then they'll be like, man, I did somebody else like that, you know, or they'll be like, why did this happen to me? And then they'll go back and think about it. Oh, well, I did this to this person. You know what I'm saying? Or did this to this person. This happened to me. It's a little thing called reaping what you sow, right? You do something and then somebody do it to you and you're like, oh man, that's what, reaping what you sow is, right? So a lot of the times I say, don't always to me, do not always be trying to get revenge on people or try to make people see what you see that they're wrong. Life will eventually hit them upside the head. And when life hits you upside the head, then we all have to face our sins. We all have to face our bad decisions. Um and that's just how life is. I don't ever try to make people that are extremely stubborn and self-righteous or so so selfish and so extremely stubborn that they can't see they're wrong. I usually learn to let them go. Those people are useless. Hey Billy, those people are useless to deal with. And so when you see that they're useless to deal with and they're bent on proving that they're right when they are dead wrong, you let them be. You let them be, and you let life hit their ass upside their forehead. You know what I'm saying? You let ass knock them down on the ground. You let life. You don't do it because you will never get them to see what they did. Just like with you. There's been some things that you couldn't see what you did was wrong. And then when life knocked you up on the ground, then you looked up and you realized, wait a minute, I did this same thing to somebody else. Right? So when you get those lessons, it's not, it's usually because the universe, God, usually shows you, number one, you ain't running nothing like you think you are. Number two, you're gonna reap what you sow. So let them experience that. Don't try to make people feel or see what you feel. You know, um, I've had situations where I felt like I was wrong. I felt like I definitely was misunderstood. I definitely you know, felt like, hey, this couldn't shouldn't have even happened. But at the end of the day, um, I have to allow myself to move out the way. Number one, I talked about letting go of people that is no good for you, letting people go that don't see your worth, letting people go that's just just bad for you all the way around. Once you learn to do that, you let God take care of these people. And when God or the universe takes care of folks, they can God can get people a lot better than you ever can. Right? You're limited without going to prison. Okay? You're very limited if you think about it. But what you can do that will actually work in your favor is letting go. There's so many different, not all. Now, I'm gonna say this: not all cancers are a result of people that have unforgiveness and bitterness. Sometimes cancer due to, genetic modifications that have happened to our foods and water and things like that. I think that have caused, certain diseases and cancers. But I do believe that to an extent, and this is for some, that cancer is a result, not all. I'm gonna say that again, not all is a result, sometimes maybe. And this is not scientific proven, so don't say I'm not trying to be a scientist or a doctor. But I do believe that maybe some of the cancers and diseases and different things we have going on is a result of negative emotions and that are things that we cannot let go. And so when you have people that are extremely bitter, they're extremely, unforgiving. They can't forgive nobody for nothing. And again, forgiveness is not for those people. At the end of the day, forgiveness is for you to let go because you understand you can't do anything to them people without going to prison, right? You have to know when to let go. Hey, Icy, you have to know when to let go. How long is you gonna how long are you gonna carry this when other people are going on about their miserable life but acting like they happy? How long you gonna let it stay? I mean, and that's the question that I had to ask myself. Like, how long am I gonna allow um my negative feelings for this person when this person has gone on about their miserable life, destroying other people, you know? So yeah, we weren't put here to live a miserable. We weren't put, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Life with Tashana. How long are we going to? How long are we going to allow this? You know what I'm saying? So, um, I had to really set up in my mind every day. God, put in my heart to forgive, soften my heart, because if you have a hard heart, you'll never be able to receive or really actually give love to anyone because you're still thinking about what happened with this person and so and this time and space that have taken so much of your life worried and mad because of this person or these people when you have a whole life in front of you. And really, to be honest with you, the way people are dropping dead now, we are all on borrowed time. It used to be, everybody said, well, when I get old, but now people are dying at the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s. And 60s to some is still young. So when you have lived most of your life mad and miserable and wanting revenge on people that have went on about their miserable life, doing what they do best, being them, which is not always good. You you learn that a lot of the times we waste time with people that really don't see or don't care about how they affect other people. So you have to learn how to move accordingly. And one thing I will tell you, letting go has been one of the best things, one of the best arts that I've learned. over time. It's one of the best things to do. When people don't see your worth, when people don't see what value you have for them, and for you in their lives, they weren't supposed to be there because they can't recognize it. And what they can't recognize, they cannot not only understand, they can't treat it accordingly. If I value Miss V, and Miss V has shown herself to be a loving, sweet, genuine person, and then I don't value that in her, well, she's nice, but I'm still gonna do what I want to do. And I disregard her feelings. I disregard her as a person. I don't value Miss V. But Miss V has not only shown me that she's loyal and a wonderful person, and I've had a relationship with her. She's she's shown me that she is just really a genuinely nice person, a caring person. And I don't value that. That's on me. Hi, Starman. How are you? I I have to learn that when you see people that add to your life, and people that have proven themselves to be encouraging, prove to you that they are a loving, caring person, value those people. Value those people. You know what I'm saying? Don't disregard those people. But if you do disregard them, just know that that was on you. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's on you. Um, I am a person that I look at individuals and I make my decision on, okay, is this person a person that I need to have around me in my space and everything like that. And once I figure it out and they have proven to be a person that has shown me who they are, and I've learned to value those people. You said once we learn who is seasonal in our lives, letting go becomes easy. Teresa, you said something right there. I need to really do a live on that. Um, Everybody is not in your life for a lifetime. To be honest with you, I really don't know a lot of people that's gonna be there a lifetime because we all gonna die. To be honest with you, if we really truthful about it. But there is some people that are just there for a lesson. Okay. Those are the seasonal people that's there for a lesson. Okay. And once the lesson is up, let them go. It was meant for you to learn so that you can take it and use it for some other situation to maybe help you or help somebody else. But some things, people leave some people seasonal people. They're there for a season. Everybody's not going to recognize your worth. Everybody's not going to recognize the beauty that you have in you. So when they don't recognize it, they don't understand it, they don't want to understand it, that's okay. They were meant to teach you something and to move on. Number one, it should teach you to value yourself more. Value yourself more, even when a person don't recognize it. It should teach you to also let go when people don't understand or recognize it or don't want to understand it, right? It's just some people, right? It's just like Teresa said, they're seasonal for a reason. It's seasonal for a reason. Everybody's not going to be in your life and stay there, until either one of you, die. Some people are just meant there for a short time. And hopefully, whatever the lesson is, you'll get it, so you won't have to repeat it and go around the mountains like the Israelites for 40 years, you know. Eventually you got to stop being and like Miss Ruth would always tell me, I know, the older lady, that when I was working with my aunt in the salon, she would always say, "Selena, don't be stupid." She would, if nothing else, I didn't learn from this roof. That's exactly what she said. Selena, don't be stupid. She always tell me that. And then when I got older, I said, "Oh, okay, I understand." you know, don't be stupid. You listen to some of these. I'm telling you, the older folks I grew up with, I've learned so much and still learning. Um, if you listen to them, you will actually not go through some of the stuff that you know would have went through if you didn't listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some people like you, even your parents. Your parents will tell you something. Save your money. Do this. And you didn't listen to it. And then when you was faced with something, then you're like, dang, I should have listened to mama. I should have listened to daddy. I should have listened to auntie, uncle. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times we go through the same situations because we don't listen to wisdom. And one of the things in wisdom that I learned is that some people are just seasonal. So don't get upset when they leave. Don't get upset when they don't recognize your worth. You just move on and find people that do. That will save you a lot of heartache. That will not only save you. See, I'm gonna just be honest. I haven't had a lot of heartbreak stories at all. Let me be honest with you, because I have mastered. I feel like I'm an escape artist. A lot of the time, I have mastered um, walking away, letting go, moving on. I mastered it. Um, if you want to find someone that has a record of blocking people, um, I'm not just talking about on YouTube. I'm talking about in real life. But it's very few people that I've actually blocked in real life. But I tell you, I'm a master at it. I understand, and I don't mind when people block me because more than likely I didn't like them anyway. Um, so when you understand that everybody's not worth your time, when you understand that everybody is not even worth you having a discussion or argument or anything with, you learn to be less stressed. You said it took them 40 years to go a day's journey. No, thank you. I'm a listen. Right. I talked about the Israelites going around the mountain 40 years, and that's what people do every day. They go around the same situation 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, however long God gives you to live. These people, you'll have people that go around the same thing. They have the same cycles on and off, on and off. And I'm like, you still ain't got it yet? I don't ever want to be that slow. Eventually, I got to get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why now I catch myself in a lot of stuff. I do stuff differently because I said, you know what? I can't be going around this mountain another 40 years or 50 years, 60 years. Shoot, 2 years is enough for me. That's too much. That's too long. So we got to pay attention to the cycles in our lives and why we keep repeating certain cycles. You keep repeating certain cycles because you didn't learn from the last one. See, life is I used to hear life was a big test and they weren't lying. And a lot of the times some of us fail miserably. It's different tests, but I think life is a whole big test sometimes. But in the midst of the life of being that big test, we got these little tests, these little pop quizzes we go through. You know, in school, sometimes you would have a pop quiz before you had a big final exam. And these little pop quizzes that we be, doing, we be failing. Then we would get to the final exam, we really just F, you know what I'm saying? D, barely making it C, you know what I'm saying? Struggling but good, B. And of course, A is what I strive to. That's why I've always strived to have a 4.0. But everybody's not fortunate, and some people are just not, I would say they could be have a mental disability. Okay. So sometimes we have to take the test a little bit more than others over, do that, take the retest over and over again because we just don't get it. Sometimes we gotta stop taking these tests over and over and stop going into these cycles. You said walking away was one of the hardest lessons I had in my life because I love to help. But when I learned that people I walked away from wished I didn't, doesn't necessarily mean you don't love them. Yeah, it's a well, um, let me see how I'm gonna answer that and be not be rude and be truthful. Um, the people I walked away from, I didn't love them in the first place. I'm gonna be honest with you. But even the people that I did have to distance myself from, that I loved and care for, um, you know, um, I did set boundaries with them. That's more like with family, because family are people that we share blood. We ain't gonna never get away from each other. But you do have to set boundaries with certain family members. Because some family members, I'm gonna tell you, can be very toxic. They can be so toxic to the point to where they are one of your worst enemies. Now, fortunately for me, I have very few family members that I would consider enemy. I pretty much get along with my family and love my family. I'm a very family orientated person, so it's kind of rare for me to have that kind of toxic relationship with someone. But I do have a couple of cousins that I could be like, I set boundaries with them so that they can understand, don't cross it. Because when you cross this, you will meet the other person. And so I set boundaries for a reason with those type of people. Those cousins that play a little bit too much, but they say they playing, but they really not playing, like joking, but they really not joking. Them kind of people, or the people that you might have a cousin that be asking for money all the time. Every time you see them, they need to borrow some money. You got to set boundaries with people like that. And sometimes you might even have to walk away because some even family can be out of line. But people that are like, non-related to, or people you didn't like in the first place, no, it's not hard at all for me. I just look, I don't know you. Even if I did know you, I'm still gonna have boundaries with you. Oh yeah, you speaking of family too. Yeah, that's a family, yeah. Sometimes family, like I said, some people, you do have to kind of just be like, yo, I ain't dealing with you, because I will go to prison. So we're gonna just part ways and respectfully and lovingly, because you still family. I don't hate you, nothing like that. But yeah, you gotta let people know when yeah, I ain't gonna deal with you. Respectfully and lovingly move on. But yeah, them other folks, honey, I do not tarry with those type of people. I will tell you in a minute. Um, going about your business because I'm going about mine, and we gonna call it a day. Yeah, like with Tashana. Sometimes family can be kind of difficult to deal with, as well. Um, but it's, I would just say, you know, every individual is different. And I would also say, please tap the like button twice. Don't be rude. You come to listen to people. If I'm not your cup of tea, that's fine. But press the like button, please, and like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate that. But yeah, I just wanted to have a little talk. I did have the link in the chat, so anybody that did want to come up on this Sunday night, Um, because it's going into Monday morning. Some of us have to get up. Thank God I am on summer vacation. So I don't have to get up early, like extremely early. But some of us have to get to work in the morning. I understand that. And shout out to y'all, because I know when school started back, I have to get up Monday morning. Those Monday mornings is one of the, oh, it's so hard for me to get up on Monday morning. It is so hard. I don't know what it is about Mondays, but I just don't be feeling it at all. Um, I just really don't. So I understand. But yeah, show your girl some love. Let's that double tap that. Double tap it. Um, but I hope anybody learned from anything that I said today. I really don't want to offend people, but I do have to be truthful with people. And thank you, like with Tashana. And I appreciate those who do support me. Um, I appreciate you so much, like with Tashana. And shout out to you. Like with Tashana, I don't know if you were here earlier. Thank you, Miss V. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I'm gonna have somebody on my live stream that had 15 months to live, and she ended up getting a transplant. And hey, CX, and it saved her life. And I will be interviewing her on tomorrow morning. So I hope that you I don't know if you're gonna be at chemo or whatever. If you or you can listen to the playback. But I think her story is very interesting. And so you need to, when you get a chance, check that out. Like I said, she has a powerful story. The doctors was giving up on her. Uh, and like I said, they gave her 15 months. They said, you're looking at it, you see, you may have only 15 months to live. So she would have to make the choice. Was she gonna have faith, or was she just gonna give up, or she just gonna live her life the best way she could until it was time for her to die? That's a pretty hard place to be, I would think. Your doctor's telling you, oh, I remember when they had told my brother-in-law, God rest his soul, when he had 46 weeks to live, but God gave him year and a half, year and a half to live. But he had they said 46 weeks to live, and I'm just thinking in my mind, like, what would you do if the doctors told any one of you guys how long you guys actually had left? You know, I appreciate as well. I actually said something to you in my live, but you had left. I just said what I said. Oh, okay. Oh no, life is just trying to. Yeah, I had to. I ended up doing something. Then I decided I said I want to go live a little later. But yes, hey, yeah, check it out when you get a chance. You said Psalms 150 and 2. Praise him for the mighty acts. Praise him according to his excellent greatness. All right. A lot of the times, like I said, we be living life and we forget that things could be a lot worse than what they are. You know, you said I do have infusion tomorrow, but I definitely will be watching. Okay, yeah, I I definitely like I said with the situation that I had with my brother-in-law, I don't take cancer lightly at all. It not only affects the person that's dealing with it. It really affects the person that's dealing with it. But you have no idea what it does to the people that's around them that actually care about them, and how some people just wish they could take that burden off of them, take that disease off of these people, that they love and care about. But some people have to see their loved ones just just falling away, just falling to pieces in front of their eyes. That's just devastating. Um, And it's so even more devastating for the person that's experiencing it. I just, it's devastating. It definitely is. So when you get people that do get a miracle, um, it's amazing. You know, I had a first cousin that had breast cancer, and she is my actually my dad's niece that he grew up with, which is crazy. And she had breast cancer, but she ended up getting in a remission, and she's still thriving to this day. You know what I'm saying? And that was she had it maybe about I'm gonna say 20 years ago. She had it. So some people they thrive through the situation, and some people it's unfortunately their time. Hmm. Some time. So everybody has a time limit. Everybody has a sunrise and a sunset on their lives. We all do. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the dash between the sunset the day you were born to the day you die. That's what matters the most. What did you do with that time that you had in that dash? What did you do? What did you do with that time? Hmm. I often think about what I did and what I'm doing. And I started learning that my life counts, so I have to make my life matter. I can't just be walking and living aimlessly through life, trying to figure things out. You know, I gotta figure it out, and I gotta live my life the best way I can, and try to treat people the best way I can. You know, I look at some people when you go to certain funerals and you hear. Have you ever noticed that everybody always has great things to say at most people's funerals? I very rarely have I been to a funeral and people have said anything bad about a person. But there has been funerals where nobody has said anything. No, nobody has any remarks. Um, they may have the resolutions, but they don't have any remarks. No family member, no friend, nobody. Not even a pastor. He's just start preaching of the sermon. But there is some people and that in our lives and people we've dealt with that have went on before us. You go to the funeral and you really know that this person gonna be missed. I'm talking about really missed. You can remember the great times you've had, the conversations you've had. You really just said, you know what? There's nobody that's going to be able to replace that type of person. That's the type of person that most of us should strive to be. Where people it's going to be a missing piece that can never be filled when you leave. Now, there's some people that die. People are glad that they're dead because they have been nothing but a nuisance to it's just a nuisance and they did nothing good for anyone. It's always been about them. Those type of people, it's like, thank God. Some people are saying to themselves, they might not say it vocally, but they probably are thinking that, thank you, Lord, this evil person is gone. Um, but then there's some people that you just like, there'll never be another person like this. You know what I'm saying? Never be another person. Um, If more people hate you than love you and like you, you got a problem. That means you are not a very nice person. You're very mean spirited, and you only do things that are self-serving for yourself. It's a bad way to live. It's a bad way to live. But who am I? I'm like I said, I'm working on my own soul. So I learned to deal with me first instead of other people. But that don't mean I don't see. But yeah, I wonder sometimes when we're in situations and it's life or death, like, you don't ever know until you go through a situation how you gonna respond at that moment. You can maybe think, oh, I'm gonna be strong, I'm gonna keep persevering. You might, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna be a struggle when you're in it. Most time, I'm gonna say most people at times want to give up because life is hard, you know, and life always doesn't seem fair to people. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to do the best that you can. If nothing else that I haven't learned from the older people, I've always heard just do the best you can. You know, try to love people, try to look at your own shortcomings, work on them, accept your wrongs, you know, do more right than wrong, and just try to do the best that you can with loving yourself, loving other people. Never be too selfish, but also take care of yourself too. You know, um, just because uh, you know, are trying to be a good person, that doesn't mean that you leave yourself out. That you always focusing on doing for others. You have to do for others as well, but do for yourself. Take care of yourself. Go exercise. Try to eat better. Um, Try to put healthier things in your mind. Whatever things are true, whatever things are lovely, you know, those things you think about more. Feed your mind with positive things. Feed your mind with things that are truthful. Um, just be good to yourself as well, but never be so selfish where you can't reach out to others, love others, care for others, see others' point of view. I'm talking about people that you care about, even if it's some people that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I would say make sure that you are just doing the best that you can as a person. You know, do your best. I think that's for the most what God requires from any human being. Do the best of what you have. Everybody wasn't blessed to have a silver spoon, in their mouth, or everybody wasn't blessed to have everything all together and be the best looking person or have a lot of money or whatever you know, you feel like is a flaw. We all have missing something. I wish I was tall, but unfortunately I'm not, you know. Somebody wish they was you know, another color, white or black. I don't know. We all want something that we not, you know. And I think the major part of life is accepting sometimes who you are and what you have. That's a little bit of I think of it's called contentment. Contentment is saying, I don't have everything I want, but I'm blessed. I'm thankful for what I have. It's also a part of being thankful. I'm learning in life that I am content. I have everything that I need. I don't have everything I want, but I'm thankful and I'm pleased that I have everything I need, and that's just enough. You ever heard that prayer, the Lord's prayer? Lord, give my day, daily bread. That means this is a daily thing that we get what we need. We get sunshine, we get food. Most of us have shelter, or we can get shelter. That's our daily bread. That's that's something that, we didn't have to have, but we have it and we're appreciative of it. You know, I just have just enough of what I need every day. Every day. you know. Um, I don't know if people still here or not. Just been talking. Um, I have just been talking. I don't know if people are here. Put one in the chat if you still here or if you sleep. Maybe you've nodded off. Some people say I have a voice that will um make people nod off. Maybe I have. I don't know. Uh, but I definitely have been more appreciative. Oh, okay. You still there, Deborah? I thought I said maybe I have just 19 people that are just asleep. I nodded off. 'Cause I'm about to look. I'm a night owl, especially when I don't have to go to work, baby. I will be up, get on my phone, watching movies. I'll be doing cleaning up. I was doing some little cleaning while I was, you know, up the other day. I was just doing cleaning and organizing my stuff. Because now, since I have this time, I can organize my closet, organize my bathroom. So I was doing a lot of organization, I'll say, throughout the night. Because again, I took a nap and I just woke up at 9 p.m. It took me a little afternoon nap. I went to sleep at what time? I think 6 o'clock, and then I woke up at 9. Yeah, I had one of them Sunday afternoon naps. Well, not afternoon, it was Sunday evening, really, 6 p.m. Then I woke up at 9. I was like, up, ready to talk. So, uh, but hope that you guys are getting something from what I'm saying. But um, it's just amazing to me, this journey that I've been going through, and what I've discovered that some people are more threatened and intimidated by your potential. Um, you probably haven't even got where you wanted to get in life, but because they are threatened and they're envious of your potential of where you could be, on where you are going, um, you will sometimes attract haters. You'll attract people that will, I guess, think you care about their existence. I have to say that because I'm gonna tell you this: if you have never seen a person as unbothered or uh, not caring of people that don't care about my existence, you have not met Selena. Um, let me introduce you to her. I'm talking in third person. Oh, I'm a kind of person I could care less about certain people's existence. Okay, I don't went from one thing to another because when you understand that life is valuable and your life is present. You can't live in the past. Your life is present, and you understand that you're on borrowed time. You don't care about people that don't care about you. You don't even care about their existence. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't want to sound mean, but I gotta say some things. There is sometimes. Have you ever met some people and you're like, "Yeah, sir, I don't even care if you are." No, maybe that's mean. I'm not gonna say that. Basically, I really just don't care at this point in my life on how some people feel about you, feel about me. Um, I think that it's a great thing that God has given each and every individual freedom. Hey, do what? How are you? I'm just thankful that we have freedom to like and dislike and support her. not support. I have the attitude recently, not just recently, but I would say in the past, I'm gonna say 2 years. I don't give a damn. How do y'all have that attitude at times? That attitude will free you. It's just like letting go. Like I talked about earlier. We have to get unbothered with people not liking us. That will help a lot of people. That will free a lot of people of not caring who likes you, who don't like you. If you like me, that's great, right? If you don't like me, that's even greater because guess what? I'm gonna say 99.9 of the time, I didn't like you either. That's what that means for me. That's what that means. I don't care either. The feeling is mutual. The feeling is mutual. So when we learn to get unbothered and we learn to not care about people that mean absolutely nothing to us, we will start to really flourish in our lives a lot better. We will become less stressful. We will not be so people pleasing and just do what we know to do is right and what we want to do. And we really won't care. Like, because some people say they don't care, but they care. But when you get to the point where you really don't care how a particular person or how people or have certain people that you don't even like anyway see you, you will become more peaceful. That is another art of being unbothered. Unbothered gives you freedom. Now you can't be unbothered about a lot of, some things you need to be bothered by, like people mistreating people or mistreating children and things like that. That's a reason, right? But when it comes to people's opinions on how they see you or how they don't like you, how they don't support you or they do support you, that should give you freedom. And it says, good, stay away from me. Thank you, God, for staying away from me. Thank you, God, for revealing to me who my enemies are, who likes me. The thing that you have to be careful about is the people that pretend to like you, but that don't really like you. What you don't need to be worried about is people that don't like you, because at least you know up front. And again, for me, the feeling is quite mutual. More than likely, I don't like you either. More than likely, I wish I could mollywop your ass. But because I am becoming unbothered, I'm working on my spiritual side, I'm working on my restraint and my self control. A lot of stuff is just like, it is what it is. People have the right to say it, people have a right. Sometimes they have a right to even if it's disrespectful, they still have a right to say what they want to say, just like you do too. But we always know if we're decent people, we know that there's consequences and things, cause and effects happen when you speak and say certain things about people and do certain things about people. It might not happen physically yet, but everything happens in the spiritual realm first, and then it comes physical. And I'm not talking physical like fighting sometimes, maybe, but a lot of things happen in the spiritual realm. They happen in physical. That's what I talked about earlier about reaping what you sow and how the universe will sometimes knock you on your back or you will have to be humbled. And when you are humbled, you sometimes look up. You could be on your deathbed, or you can be in the hospital room, or you could be in a situation where you have no control and you have to think about everything you've done and everything you said on another person that wasn't true. Amen to that. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. Shout out to you. Um, yeah, life will knock you on your, and I can't say that. I just said Jesus Christ is the way. Life will knock you on your, well, you know, it will knock you on your behind. It will knock you out, and you'll have to pay for what you say and do. That's why now, even though I'm bothered about a lot of things, I do learn to watch what I say. But sometimes I get in my way. And I say exactly how I feel, and it ain't nice. I see. I didn't know you were still here. She's smiling about. But I am learning to be unbothered. You gotta learn to be unbothered because if you don't, you're gonna be mad all the time. I said that before. You're gonna be mad all the time. You're gonna be victimized. You're gonna be just a emotional basket case. And people done gone on about their life, bringing misery to other people, just doing what they do best because they're a miserable person. I learned a lot of times projection, and deflection is what most people do. I've done it. You've done it. You know, we may have caught it to where we don't do it as much as other people. And part of human nature is not really accountability because that's something that's a learned behavior, but projection and deflection, I think, is something that comes innate to most human beings. We always want to see what other people have done, not what we've done. So we use a lot of projection, deflection, and get the blame off of us. Even though I know I was dead wrong, but anyway, what did you did this? You know, it's all about getting the blame off another person and putting it on somebody else and being and feeling justified for doing it. I don't know. I don't want to be like that. I want to accept, learn, and move on. hmm Accept, learn, and move on. When we learn to accept that we're not right, when we learn to move on, don't keep doing the same behavior. You know what I'm saying? Well, learn. We gotta learn first. We get learn that that was bad behavior. Don't keep making that same move on. You know, don't don't accept and keep doing it and not learn. hmm I'm just talking, but I hope I said something to help somebody today. You guys that support me, I support you guys too. Um, I really respect. I really love and am encouraged by my people that come over here. I really do. That's why I did the live the other day because I appreciate you guys showing me love, um, showing me that my what I'm saying is not falling on deaf ears. That people actually get something from what I say. You know what I'm saying? Um, not like some of these people that critique and uh try to break down with no. This is what I said, and this is what I meant. Don't add, don't take away. This is what I meant. I can be very direct when I want to. I don't have to do subliminals. I'm very direct, especially when it comes to how I feel about certain things or how I see things. Don't add or don't take away. And if you do, hey, that's on you. It ain't on me. It ain't what I see. So I appreciate those that come and show me some love. Um, you guys make me come on here and to stay coming on here. You know, um, I have people that remind me, like CC. I think it's CC Crazy Jesus follower. It's a pretty interesting name. People like these, people like Icy and Miss V asking me provoking questions. Um, I appreciate y'all. I really do. And I hope that you like, share, and subscribe. I hope it's something that I said that I was not, trying to, well, I only like to offend people that I intend on offending, to be honest with you. Some people I attend on offending you. I could care less about your feelings. But for the majority, like, no, I don't want to, I'm not rude like that. I'm not a meanie. I can be. I really, for my supporters and people that are just passing through, I want to make sure that, you get something from what I said, nothing else. Let's just do the best that we can and let's just try to treat people the way we want to be treated. That's the golden rule that people seem to talk about, but they seem to miss every time. Y'all say treat people like you want to be treated. That's the golden rule. But very few people that actually stand on it. So I try to be conscious in my subconsciousness at times too, if that makes sense, to remind myself if I don't want it to be done to me, don't do it to another person. All right. If I don't want it done to me, don't do it to another person. That's the easiest way that I can think of, keeping myself right within. If I don't want people lying on me, don't lie on somebody else. If I don't want people being disrespectful, don't be disrespectful to someone else. We just have to learn to practice what we preach. That goes for all of us, from the pastor in the pulpit to the kid in elementary. We all gonna have to learn that lesson to practice what we preach, not to be so hypocritical to where we are telling other people a certain thing, but we can't even follow through on what we know to do is right. Again, I don't get it all right. Sometimes, like I said, I can meet people where they are and give you the same energy you're giving me. It just depends on if I want to go into it or not. But at the end of the day, we're going to be held accountable for everything we do and say. You know, I think about that. I'm like, on Judgment Day, it's the Judgment Day, and we're faced in front of a God that we only read about, and some people just even never believed or even phantom something as great as a great judge of God. He goes down and looks at our whole life in front of us, and we're faced with what we did, and when we thought nobody was looking, and what we said when we thought we were going to get away with it, and all the things in our life. It's like going to be a movie. We can see everything we've done wrong, even the things we've done right. And life is like a movie right in front of us. We're looking at it, and I wonder. I ain't worried about nobody else's movie. I'm worried about my own. I'm, I'm worried about what I'm gonna be faced with. So that's why I say it's best to start now. When you know better, you should do better. So it makes me, I would say, in a respectful fear of I'm not just living for myself. I'll just say that. I have to remember, and we all have to remember, people are watching us. Some not so good. Hmm. That's only trying to critique and find fault in you anyway. And some people are watching you because maybe it's something about you that is drawn. They're drawn to you. Maybe it's a message that they needed to hear, or maybe it's something that they needed to see. That maybe not all people are like this, or maybe not all black women are like that, or maybe not all, you know, black men are this way. It's somebody that may be watching you and they may something about you that draws them to you. And it could be that in some way you can encourage in them, they admire you. Um, there's something that they like about you, something that they love about your spirit. It's something. Now the haters, they're gonna, as Taylor Swift say, they're gonna hate. They're gonna do what they do best, critique, and try to destroy. That's what they do. But I'm talking about people that's drawn to you for a reason, a good reason. And I don't want to let those people down, even in my imperfectness. Um, I want people to see that I have grown. I want people to see that there's certain things that maybe I would have did last year that I'm not doing this year. You know what I'm saying? I want people to be encouraged. I want people to feel like um, they can relate to me. You know, the biggest problem that some people have with people that are in social media, they're not relatable. What I mean by that is they have everything going for them. They're so high above they can't even fathom being around regular folks. You know what I'm saying? They just seem untouchable. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to come, I might want to seem like I have boundaries where you can't come at me any kind of way. But I never want to be unrelatable to people where they can't relate to me as a person. That they can't see that I'm a real person with real problems, with real victories as well. I'm just a person, a human being, just like you, right? I don't have a million subs. I don't have the flashy car. I'm not, with the suicide doors. I don't have, the bins. I don't have none of it. I don't have a lot of money or I'm making six figures. I don't have none of that. No, I have some people in my family that do got that. I don't have it, but I'm grateful for where I am. And it doesn't take all of that for people to see the beauty that's within you, the value that you actually have. Because it's a lot of people that have material things, but they're just as empty as as it can get. They have no other value besides their material things or their aesthetics. It's people that go to the gym religiously. They work out, their bodies look like it has been chiseled like a beautiful sculpture, whether it's cosmetic or they've been to the gym and got it done. But when it's all said and done, after they have looked their best and got everybody to just look at how wonderful they look, they have nothing else to offer but their aesthetics. They work out every day, but they're empty on the inside. They eat the right things, but they're empty on the inside. They have no love. They have no compassion. They're just so selfish and self-centered. It's all about them. But at night, when they're alone by themselves and they could be got somebody on the side, they really not happy. They really feel like there's something that's still missing. What is it that is still missing? that only that person knows. But I would say when I have observed people that are like that, they miss a lot of peace. They don't really have joy. They know that they're not really doing what they need to be doing, but they still doing it. They really know that they've dropped the ball in their real life, their spiritual life internally, but they don't know how to get it to where they are happy. I don't know if that's making sense. Sometimes some people will do all the right things on the outside, their inside is depleted. They don't understand why they got everything they want. They can go wherever they want. They can sleep with whoever they want, but they still not happy. They still not happy. They still trying to figure out how do I get this? I got everything. I'm blessed. I'm really I got great things going for me. Why is it that I'm still not happy with where? Why am I still not don't have peace? That's for you to figure out. A lot of the times we focus on the outside. We don't really we leave the inside like depleted. We don't know. Or we do know and we just don't want to go into it because it opens a lot of other things up that we have to give up. Some things people don't want to sacrifice. People, you know why some people will, and this will not be my plight, but why some people are forever bachelors, are forever bachelorettes, because they don't want to give up what they say for what they really want. They want a great relationship. They want to be married. They want to have the life that they dreamed about, but they don't want to give up their selfishness. They don't want to give up dropping people when they're done with them. They don't want to give up having that freedom to be as selfish and self centered as they want to be because they know when they get into a real relationship with a real person that has value, they have to give up something. They have to learn to sacrifice. They have to learn to stop thinking about themselves for once. And that's why some people that do say they want it, they're not willing to do what it takes to get it. When I realized that there's some things about me that I had to adjust, I started looking at situations and relationships a lot differently. I started to learn that it's not about me all the time and how I feel, and that if I do get into something, I'm going to have to sacrifice my time, which I held so selfishly. But when you learn that your selfishness is going to keep you single, you start to do things differently. You start to make sacrifices and you start to understand that your old way of thinking is not getting you anywhere. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So that means a lot of us have been living in insanity and not even knowing that we were insane. So there's some things that you have to do as a human being if you want what you want. You have to learn to sacrifice. Sacrifice your freedom, sacrifice some of your time, sacrifice some of what your wants. Because again, when you're dealing with people that you value, it's not going to always be about you. But most people will never learn that lesson because they're lovers of themselves and they don't see any other way. But they want what they want, but they're not going to get what they want because they're not willing to get beyond their old way of thinking. I hear so many. I'm just gonna talk about, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shortly get off of here. I see so many men that I've, talked to and, that say, I wanna meet the right woman. I wanna be married and have children. Now, I have heard some men lately, they're like, nah, I don't want that. They just want, I don't think some men even like women. I just think that they want them for a pump and dump and then they move on. They just need to release. So instead of them jacking off, they, find a female that they can deal with for a few minutes. But for the most, I would hear some men say, I want to be married. I want to have kids. Are you willing to sacrifice? Do you know that you can't be thinking about yourself all the time? Do you know that you're not going to be always going to have your way? Do you know? And that's what, like some women. Some women say, I want to be married. I want to have kids. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your time? Hey, Mika, are you willing to sacrifice your time? Are you willing to sacrifice what it takes to give of yourself to be a wife? You know you're gonna have to be, well, you're supposed to be submissive to one another, but do you know you have to learn your role as a woman and not try to be a man? You understand that? See, we always asking for something and wanting something that we're not ready for. And some of these same people say, I am ready for it. Your actions proves when you're ready. And God, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, knows when you're ready. He knows when you're ready to sacrifice and give of yourself. That's why so many um, men and women out here just walking around aimlessly, hitting and missing each other because you got one person saying they want something, ready for something when they're not ready for it. Then you got another person that is ready for it, and then they miss each other because the other person that said they really want it but they ain't ready for it, they walking aimlessly, just hitting and missing people, hitting and missing people. That's weird. Men and women do it. It ain't just a man thing; it's a women thing too. Both of them do it. They just walk aimlessly through life trying to figure it out when it could be right in front of them. But because they are so selfish and so self centered, they ain't going to see it no way because it doesn't look like what you want it to, or it doesn't feel like what you want it to. The person that I want in my life is a person that's going to challenge me. It's not going to be a person that makes everything comfortable and give me everything I want when I want it. I have a strong personality, so I have to have a man that knows when to say, Selena, it's enough. Okay? You have to know to thy own self be true. I need somebody to challenge me, not in a bad way where I'm feeling like I need to hide, for my life. I'm talking about somebody that's challenging me to be a better person. See, what we want is shouldn't make us always feel good. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to have a person in your life that's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Most of these people out here that's looking for somebody, they want somebody to make them feel good, like Holly Berry and Monster Ball. They don't want anybody to challenge their beliefs or challenge what they feel about their perspective. They don't want anybody like they want everybody to agree with what they want to agree and give them, as the men say, I want peace. That's some bullshit. Cause guess what? Life ain't gonna be peaceful all the time. Sometimes you're gonna need a woman to tell you dead wrong. I get so sick of that. I want peace. Sometimes it's a person saying they don't want no accountability for the shit they do. You get your ass and stop saying it. If anything, of course, you don't want no woman or man nagging at you. But to be honest with you, you need to have somebody that holds you accountable. You are not right all the time, ma'am or sir. And all that I want peace. You need to clarify what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Your peace is saying that you don't want accountability for the stuff you doing wrong. Nobody to call your tail out. That's what you're saying. And I can't stand people that say that. That irritates me. Your peace comes within who you are, what you're going to allow, what you're not going to allow. That's why I have peace because I have boundaries. See, I have peace because there's certain people I ain't going to fool with. I don't give a damn. I will tell you, I don't even have to tell you. I'm gone and you look up, you don't even know until and you turn around, I'm gone. That's my peace. My peace is walking away from your ass before I hit you or cuss you out. My peace is I'm gonna take it because you ain't gonna disturb it. So all that foolishness when these men be saying, I want a woman that hey flame, I want a woman that brings me peace. Get your own peace. Get your own peace. And if you want peace, then be stay single and deal with thoughts that you can see every now and then when you want to, and then leave them hot and dry when you finish. Keep doing that piece, and you'll find out. You're gonna be peace and miserable, lonely, and looking up when you're 70 years old and there ain't nobody around. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't understand these people. You know, I used to watch Kevin Samuels, and I'm gonna tell you, when I used to watch Kevin Samuels, yeah, creating chaos, destroying women's lives and men's lives. You out here destroying women and men, and then talking about you want peace when you the one doing the foolishness, sitting up there, giving people mixed signals and doing stuff. Then talking about you want peace when you creating chaos for other people. You sit your ass down. And what are you saying? You said, yeah, and that's the truth. Yeah, accountability. And so you had these people on here. I remember, like I said, Kevin Samuels, like I said, I don't care what nobody say. Some of this stuff he was saying was truthful. It is some delusional women, just like it's some delusional men out there that think everything they do is sweet, that they just the finest person in the world. I ain't never said I was a 10. I ain't never said I was a dime. Do I feel I'm a valuable woman? Absolutely. Do I feel like I have a lot to offer? Absolutely. But I never said I'm a dime. I'm this, I'm that. You know. Now, if people want to say that, that's on them. I accept it. Thank you. Amen. Other than that, I ain't never said that. So you ain't gonna ever, first of all, you ain't gonna see me on no platform doing it. Telling people my personal business and who I'm dating, and what happened in the last relationship. That is nobody's business but mine. But that's a personal preference of mine, okay? So the stuff he was telling you, some of these women that were coming on there, was truthful. You can't ask for something that you are not. And a lot of people do that. I've done that. You asking for something and you asking for somebody financially stable, you not financially stable. You broke. You trying to figure out, you robbing Peter to pay Paul, but you asking for somebody financially stable. When you learn to get in control of your money habits, then maybe you can attract someone that has that same type of mindset of being financially stable or know how to manage their money. But you can't ask for something that you're not. Then you have a woman. She uh about 300 pounds. And no offense to us, big girls. I'm a thick girl, curvy girl, but it's some women that are heavy set. And they're asking for somebody that is all chiseled, got a chest, you know, a six pack or whatever, whatever, 4 6 pack, whatever. And they sitting up there 300 pounds, stomach all out of shape, and mind you, it's not all about the looks, but come on. Now, there is some, I have met some men in the gym that like real heavy set women, but it's not often. But my thing is, you asking for somebody with a six pack and you for 300 pounds, your stomach all over your pants, you looking all sloppy everywhere you go, looking like a little, just like a little Michelin man. And then you got the nerve to want somebody that has a chiseled body, at the gym, every day. And then you want somebody with six-figure salary when you're making $15 an hour, six-figure salary or more, and no kids, but you got two, you got three, and maybe three different baby daddies or two different baby daddies. This is not adding up to me. Hey, Rohit, I think that's not adding up to me. How are you? That's not adding up to me. What? Why do people ask for something that they're not willing to do for themselves? Why are people asking for something that they cannot measure up to? And that's just like with a person that's saying they want somebody loyal, but they can't be loyal. They want somebody faithful, but they sleep with everything walking and that looks good. Don't ask for, hey, Sassy, don't ask for stuff that you're not willing to be or do. You sitting up here with your hoish ass, and you want somebody that's chaste. You want somebody that's living the right life and not sleeping around. But you sitting up here sticking and moving with your nasty self. How dare you? You get what you get, and that's why when these people be coming up here with all these long lists, being the way they are, with they loose ass, and men are loose too. I don't care. Yeah, they live in fairy tale flame, and I don't care what they say. If a woman can be a hoe, a man can be a hoe. So I don't care nothing about you a player. You a hoe too. Woman sleep around, she a hoe. You a hoe too. Sit your ass down somewhere. You get a certain age, you need to you get yourself in order. I remember I had a guy I worked with, he told me he slept with 1,000 women. Said, you got to be kidding me. So you mean to tell me you had no regard for your body? You just out there, just sticking and moving with anything, and you didn't catch anything? The guy told me, he said, no, I didn't catch anything. He said, I said, that ain't nothing but the grace of God. Because you sitting up there, and so I said, you has to be lying to me. I said, that's impossible. He said, no, Selena, I really did. And how you doing, sir? Sir, I don't know what these handle names, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. He said he slept with 1,000 women. I said, I know you lying. But then he was saying, he said, well, Selena, when you start early, I started really early. And then he said, when you sleep with like two people a week or something like that, two different people a week and different people in a year. I said, oh my God, this is just crazy. And I said, and then he tried to talk to me. I said, oh no, you too much of a hoe for me. I'm sorry. I had to be straight up with him. We were friends, so I had to be straight up with him. I'm like, I don't mean no harm, Chris. Oh, excuse me. I said we can stay friends, but I can't touch that. You got too much going on. And I hate, maybe um I was being judgmental. But man, I don't know. That was just a lot for me to take in. Um, that was just a lot. 1,000 people, and I'm like, bless your heart. When you get a certain age, your dick might, excuse me, I mean, your stuff might fall off. That's what I was thinking. I've seen anything like this in my life. I've never heard of anything. So he making excuses. So he was just so he was trying to get me. I said, no, no way. I said, no, my body count ain't nowhere near that. That's ridiculous. Um, yeah, nowhere close at all. Not even half. Not even no. Just I'm like single digits. So I was just like, yo, this is so crazy to me. But he wanted a woman that was more kind of, kind of chaste, more a woman that wasn't promiscuous or haven't been out there like that. And I'm like, you might find it, maybe, but I ain't it. Keep it moving, partner. But now I said, Lord, forgive me if I was judging him, but I kept him in friend zone for real. But yeah, that was just a lot for me. But he was a hoe. And he said he was a hoe, so I'm not just talking about him. No, you were not. Don't add me to. Yeah, right. Don't add me to the roster. Dude. And most of the women he probably forgot he slept with. Because he probably was drunk or high. I don't know, but I was like, I ain't the one. Don't put me on your roster, baby. And keep it moving, bro. Love you to Reese's Pieces, but not like that. And so he sit up there, he stayed in the friend zone, baby, because I'm like, yeah, too much, too much. But I don't want to be on nobody roster as another one. Yeah, so if I can't be the one, thank you and have a nice life. Keep your ass on somewhere. And what you looking for, you'll never get because you don't know how to settle down and deal with a person one on one. And you don't know how to treat people like you want to be treated. I will say for men and women, because women, we can do it too. You can send people mixed signals, and you got to be straight up with them from the beginning. Never show a person really that you really interested in, even if you're attracted to them, if you don't plan on doing nothing. If you don't plan on doing nothing, keep your attraction to yourself. Just say you're a nice looking person, a nice looking woman, a nice looking man, and keep it moving. Don't ever put things out there as if you want more when you really don't, because that's when you send in mixed signals, and that's how your ass get cussed out. You know what I'm saying? That's how people start seeing you as a F nigga or you know a B, because it's like you playing with people when you shouldn't you grown, you shouldn't have to just keep it straight up and keep a boundary. If you ain't feeling the person, don't make it to where you are acting like you're feeling someone when you're really not. That's one thing I see that irritates me about grown people. They can't just be real and just straight up with folks. And that's why a lot of the times people be missing out on good people because they do stuff like that. And one thing you can do to mess up with me is if you act like you something that you're not, or you are sending me mixed signals, I will straight up cut you off. And you won't feel it then, but you will feel it a little bit later on because I will definitely, my actions will be like, you have been dismissed. Goodbye. So that's one thing that just irritates me. And you will find yourself on a block list really soon. Um, I hate to be so cutthroat, but people are so cutthroat out here anyway, And like I said, I don't think I'm being cutthroat, maybe to some people's opinion. I think I'm just setting boundaries for myself and protecting myself. And as a woman, and even if you're a man, you have to protect yourself. And one thing is protecting your energy, making sure that you don't allow any and everybody to just dump their stuff on you, um, protecting your peace of mind, making sure people don't bring you into chaos. If they can't be straight up about it, yeah, keep it moving. You're not for me. Um, I've never, you know what? I've never asked the guy, where is this going? If I don't see there's no intent in what you're doing, it's not going nowhere. Why? Because I've already walked off. And I'm gonna let you figure it out once I walked off. Once you figured it out, I'm gone. So we, hello, how are you, M? We don't need to know where we going with this. I've already left. You don't have to ask women. Stop asking these men where are we going with this. A man is very intentional. Let me tell you why. When they want that get that money, they go and work. They go get that money, right? They go and get that money. Whatever they want, they men, real men. I ain't talking about these little simp or these little not simp, but these little passive little dusties out here that just want a woman to work for them or want just sit on their ass and do nothing but eat and boo boo and have sex. I'm not talking about those dusties. I'm talking about the men that really are ambitious. When men are ambitious, they go for what they want, right? So why do you think that if they are interested in you or if they're intentional about you, why won't you think that they won't make their attention known? I don't get into I let people believe that I'm retarded on some things or I'm slow or maybe I'm green on some things. But I let a man think that for some reason because it's good to be unassuming because people never see you coming. But one thing that really is really funny to me when men are ambitious and they go for what they want, they work for what they want, and then all of a sudden they start getting shy or start getting scared when it comes to certain things. They don't have no intentions for you. I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry, ma'am. If a man is ambitious about everything else but you, he don't want you like that. You cute. You may be a little placeholder for a little bit, but once they finish, they done with you. So never think just because a man is saying, "Well, I'm a little unsure. I don't know. I'm a little you this." They don't want you, boo. They don't want you, boo. It's on to the next with them. You may be cute. You may be fine. You may have a lot of great qualities about yourself. But when a man wants you, you will know. They ambitious about everything else. They not scared about nothing else. They only scared about things that they know that they might have to sacrifice. They might have to start acting right. They might have to give up a little bit of their time when they so selfish, dividing it between all the other women that they're dealing with. So, no, because you gonna make that man be like, no, we ain't doing it. Either you gonna want this or you don't want this, or you more. If you're a direct woman, if you're a woman that got standards about yourself, you're not gonna be putting up with a whole bunch of foolishness. Now you're gonna have to put up with something because that's a part of life and being in a relationship. Nobody is perfect. But when you got them in as, oh no, because you require a little bit more than that other floozies or that other floozy, he ain't gonna fool with you too much. And take it as a blessing. Take it as you dodge a bullet. And that even for men. If you find a woman and she kind of giving you, the mixed signals and acting like she want to be bothered, this she don't want to be bothered. She don't want you, boo. She probably just want to get a free meal, and she probably just wants some money for her to pay her bills because her baby daddy didn't give her no money, or she just got the money and she just want to get use yours. She don't want you. See, people are very ambitious about what they want. They're very intentional. So when they ain't intentional and they ain't ambitious about you and getting you, they don't want you. I don't know how I can stress that enough. I don't. I mean, it's real simple. So that's why I've never in a relationship or about to get in a relationship, whatever, have asked the man, "Where are we going with this?" I see where we going with this, and if it ain't going nowhere, it's not going nowhere. Now, if we both decide let's part ways because, hey, you know, we're just not on the same wave path, wave length, then okay, we just not there. We don't want the same things, and that's fine. We go our own way. No hard feelings. We just didn't want the same thing. You just weren't ready. I wasn't ready. Maybe I wasn't ready for you, or you weren't ready for me. But when it comes to that other stuff, when these people be trying to act like, oh, I don't know, keep your scary ass away from me. Because you ain't scared with nothing else that you want. Men are very intentional. Don't let them fool you. And if you're a man in the chat, you know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know what y'all want when y'all want it, and y'all go for what y'all want. Now, y'all may some of them may have a little fear, but they get over it real quick, especially when it's something they want. They want. Okay, so that's why I tell women, don't ask the man. Do not ask the man, um, what's your intentions with me. You can see how do he treat you. What is he doing? Is he willing to bend and fold? Are you willing to bend and fold? Are y'all aligning with each other? Do y'all really like each other more than the sex and the physical attraction? Can you actually talk to a person more than 5 minutes? Does this person bore you half to death? Do y'all have some things in common? What are the things you don't have in common? Like there's things that you're going to be considering, and if you got more cons than pros, then you might not, besides the sex and attraction, and y'all have a good time every now and then when y'all see each other, that ain't really nothing. That's surface to me. That's really surface. And a lot of the times, I ain't gonna say most, but I'm gonna just say I met not. I'm gonna just say I met a lot of people that are more surface than anything. They have nothing more going on than what you can see, and I'm just gonna be truthful. You know, what I'm saying, um, but every now and then you'll come in contact with someone that's more than a handsome face or a cute or pretty face. You'll come in contact with people that actually have something more going on for themselves. You said, Miss Selena, love does not consist in gazing at each other, but looking outward together in the same direction. All right, you deep, honey. You said, I don't like when guys constantly interrupt me when I'm talking. That lets me know they're not listening. Right. You listening to you talking to somebody, you're like, wait a minute. Shut up. Okay. Just shut up. Listen. See, one thing about women, we need to learn to listen, but men need to listen too. Some men want to always prove their point because their mama and daddy did, or their mama didn't let them talk when they was young. But they want to prove a point every 5 minutes. You're like, just listen. That's the same for women. Just listen. You may not agree with me, but let me at least get it out. Then you can talk. They can't do that. I'm just like, yo, these people out here are something special and not in a good way. Um, I am convinced that we are living in a world with robotic people and I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, I'm going somewhere, God willing, this weekend with someone, and I like really men that are down to earth, cool people. We just trying to get to know each other. Just I really like, how I like starting relationships out with some people so you can really kind of get to know like kind of who they are to an extent is when you start out with people as friends. You start out with people as friends, um, you kind of have a little bit better outcome and you can kind of see them more than the representative they try to put on. Um, so, me and the, person, we're we're friends. We've been knowing each other. We grew up at in the church together, and so we are familiar. You know, so there's a comfort there rather than sometimes just meeting somebody you've never met. And then you have to get to know them all over and get to figure out, is this right for you? Are you right for them? All this kind of crap. It's just like, oh. And when you get older, you get sick of all that. You just like, look, I just want somebody that want me and I want them next. All this other stuff is just ridiculous. But when you're dealing with people, I think that you have to have somebody that is just really open and honest type of person. Um, and what you say, David, you said not robots. I call them sheeple, just following the flock of society like zombies. You ain't lying. You ain't lying about that. We look at social media and we be, say for instance, they got a commercial saying, "Oh, this make your hair grow, or this make you look beautiful, or this make you look smaller." We'll go out there and buy that. Everybody start buying the same thing. Or like a celebrity, they'll have a purse or something. They're doing something, then we start doing it. Like it's just we just all just we got to learn to stop being followers. I had to learn to stop doing that. Everything you see on TV, oh, I got to get that. You don't have to get that. That's what advertising is for, is to make you to buy something, so you can look like everybody else. But yeah, you're right, David. I think it's mixed. Some of them mixed with robots too. I think. Um, you said no matter how much we look on the internet, only lawyers have real information. Yeah, I guess they would. I mean, I gotta call my cousin, by the way. He made me think of something. But yeah, I um I believe that we all have things in our lives, that make us who we are. But it's really good when we can find people that don't have any other intentions besides getting to know who you are. Yes, most men, let's just be honest. If you are a heterosexual male and you love women, you want to have sex. I mean, especially if you are physically attracted to it. Let's just keep it 100. But at the same time, like that shouldn't be your only goal, sleep to sleep with somebody, unless you one of those people, like I said, some men they just have sex occasionally, but they don't want to be bothered with a woman. They just like, okay, you're useless other than sex. That's different. But for the normal people that actually don't want to die alone, they kind of look at things a little differently than that. So it's all about finding someone that really wants to see you, to get to know you. I play a lot of different games that these people play. I like you today, but I'm not sure tomorrow. I like you now, but not sure right now. I like you, but I'm a little scared. I like you, but no, I don't like you. Not like that. Yeah, just stop. Just stay away from me. Um, So those type of men I do not tolerate. I exit stage left very quickly. And then they'll find out, oh, I haven't heard from Selena. Oh, I haven't, she's acting differently. Oh, well, yeah, figure it out. Okay. Figure it out. I'm letting you know I've already left. So we have to really be real with ourselves as women and men. And if we see someone that is playing with us, or we see someone that we feel like is playing in our face, or giving us mixed signals, or just doing some super weird things, that's not making sense and not adding up, and we can feel it in our gut that this person may not have the best intentions for us, don't waste your time. Do not waste your time with people, um, because it's only going to get worse. There's not going to get better. There's not going to be any. The only clarification that you need is that this person doesn't like you enough. Okay, that's the only clarification that you need. And once you sense that, Like she said, don't somebody said don't live in a fairy tale. Once you figure that out, stop living in a fairy tale. Stop wanting what you want and just see it for what it is, you know. And like I think it was Teresa said earlier, and some people are just seasons in your life and they're just lessons that needed to be learned. Maybe you didn't get that lesson learned the last time you went through it. Maybe you had to take it over again. You know, like I said, life is one of the greatest um teaching I would say it's a really a lesson that we really have to learn um and we have these pop quizzes in our lives and if we don't you know if we don't understand what we're comprehending in life, we always fail the final exam, you know. And that's kind of how life is sometimes. She said, I'm older. That's the way boys think, but in today's society and the personal detachment due to technical such, we forget what real relationships are. It is nothing to do with right, David. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate that. Yeah, everything is just so fake. It's like it's so surface. It's nothing deep about anything. Like everybody's just they're so text, text, text. You know, I'm the kind of person I like to see you. You know, I like to hear you. I'm not a person that wants to do a lot of tippity typing, tippity typing. And I hate when I've dealt with some men and they want to text all the time. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, I know sometimes we live busy lives and some of us may be working, may have children, things like that that keep us on a go. And we may have a few little things we might want to say. We text. Okay. Do not text a whole conversation. Do you know how many times people will misread or misinterpret what you text? You may say something and that is not what how you meant it. They said, oh, she sound like she got an attitude just by what you text when that's not how you meant it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is wrong with these people that do this tippity typing? And then the other thing that they were doing too, people were getting online because everybody was online. You remember the COVID? Excuse me, C-19. I don't know if I can say it or not. I already said it now. But when it was around that time, the pandemic, when everybody was online. So that means that people were getting these online relationships because we couldn't see each other. We had to stay away from each other and stuff like that. So everybody got on the internet. Everybody got on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And people just got out of touch with meeting a person and talking with a person on phone and just I don't know, really being engaged with a person. To me, it's just so I don't know. I think I was wrong. I was raised up. I think I was born in the wrong generation. I should have been born way back then because I'm in the wrong generation. These people out here are nuts. It's just nuts. Sometimes I think I'm just it's only a few sane people out there. Cause they just stuff that's supposed to be doing today. I'm just like, are you for real? And they are. That's what's so crazy. So, dang, can have a consistent 20 people in here. But it's pretty interesting. Somebody want to hear what I got to say. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. So you know, I don't want nobody doing content for me just giving my thoughts. It's not like I'm talking about any of your favorite content creators. Just talking about relationships and stuff like that. How I see the world, what I've experienced. I talked, David, I don't know if he was in here earlier, but I was talking a little bit about how in life we have to learn some things. And I was saying how I've learned how to let go of people that are not good for me, the people that are not that don't value me. I learned to also I learned to be unbothered by what people may think or say that don't know me. Um, and the other thing, I just talked about how not putting yourself in the same type of cycles over and over and over again, Um, and also talked about creating boundaries with folks. You got to create boundaries with people because if you don't, you will be constantly having some situations with folks because you don't create boundaries with people. You have to learn how to create boundaries that, yeah, I agree with that, but I think it helps some people to reattach to family and personal interactions with family life. Right. I agree. She laughing at cutting edge. I agree with that too. Sometimes you have to reattach and sometimes you have to discharge, you know. But like I said, some people are too poisonous to be around, you know? They're just too poisonous. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. Oh Lord, I am back. Yeah, I had to take care of something right quick. I'm about to get off of here. I stayed on here a little longer than I expected to actually stay on here, which is I guess I just felt like talking today to you guys. 'Cause usually I don't really talk this long. I think it was just some things on my mind and stuff I want to talk about. And you said the Selena boundaries are not about creating walls, but about establishing clear limits and expectations and relate. Right, I agree there. But sometimes you need to have some walls. That's enforcing boundaries is an act of self care. Right. Oh, you and I are on the same page in life. I've been dumping toxic people left and right. Realized my only value to them was getting used. Right. I don't know. I ain't gonna say I was getting used, but I don't like people. I guess in some ways, people can't use your time. You ain't gonna use me. Eventually, I'm gonna catch on and to get your and say, get your ass on away from me. We ain't doing it. See, one thing about me too, I may seem unassuming, but I catch on real quick to a lot of stuff. Not to say you don't, David, but I'm just saying for me, I kind of catch on, and once I kind of catch on, to what I feel like you making me feel like, then yeah, that don't set too well with me. I will truly, um, I will truly dismiss you all the way. And I'm kind of one of them people. I will not only create boundaries, but I will create a wall where you can no longer come back over. Um, I will create that. So it's just some people, like I said, I don't tolerate. I don't tolerate a lot of that kind of thing. I never was those type of people that another person that just I don't like people making me feel a certain way. When I mean what I mean by that, and let me articulate this correctly. If I feel like you put more into something than I am, or if I feel like you playing in my face as far as like you're not really being sincere or genuine in your intent or your approach with me, mm, that right there, it kind of it creates a wall for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, Now I have to be careful because sometimes you know, that doesn't mean a person is a bad person. Okay. Let me just say that. It don't mean a person is a bad person or evil person. Maybe they're not mature, or maybe they are uncertain because of things that they have dealt with. Because again, people go through things just like you do, right? So I have to be careful that sometimes I don't create a wall when it may be, I may have to let that person go on their way and maybe let them grow up, and maybe, we can reconnect. But I have gotten sometimes to the point where I don't even give people a chance to reconnect, because maybe I've created that wall because I felt that they were doing something when they may very well could be, but they may weren't at the time mature, ready at the time. I have an example, but I just don't like people wasting my time. I'm sorry. But I do have an example of something. I was dating a guy, very nice guy, great chemistry. We really, I was like, this could be the one, right? And he ended up going off to, he was a insurance adjuster. Um, yes, easy, I am. He was an insurance adjuster, and he went off to Chicago. Well, when he went off, the communication dropped. Like, he didn't know how long he was going to be there, because with him working with those claims, like when it was bad weather or things like that, he would have to travel. And sometimes he would be in certain locations 1 week, a month, 2 months. It just depends on the job at the time. And so, I, hey, girl's dad, I sit up there, and when I didn't hear from him, I said, I created that wall. So when he came back a couple of months later, um, he left a card in my door. I was like, what this? I ain't gonna tell you what I said. I said, what do you want? So me being having a wall up, but I was curious at what was his excuse. So I called him 2 months later, just being petty. I called him 2 months later. He was like, "Hey," he was like, "I didn't think you got my card because I didn't hear from you." I was like, "Yeah, I got it. I got it 2 months. I got it when you left it." I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Well, when I was in Chicago, I ended up losing my phone, and I lost all of my contacts, my recent contacts, and I couldn't get in contact with you. So when I came back to Dallas, that's why I left the card for you, because I was wanted you to call me because I had no way to contact you." I felt a way about it because I'm like, okay, we got Instagram, but he wasn't, friends with me on Instagram. Like, you could have got in contact with me on Facebook. I'm thinking all these kind of things. He's like, why did you wait this long to call me? And I said, well, because I didn't know what you had going on. I just thought that you went to Chicago and you just, disappeared. You ghosted me. And so he's like, no, I really did. So he was just telling me about the experience he had with the phone and stuff like that, and how he explained. He was like, no, I'm really serious about that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think to myself, maybe I did create a boundary there, and I wasn't, no, not a boundary. Maybe I created a wall because it seemed like the situation was something else. It seemed like, oh, you ghosted me. But from what he told me, I said, well, maybe because somebody else was telling me, Selena, I think you might need to just be patient. It might not be what you think it is. I said, no, it is. It is. I don't, I don't understand this. And this never happened to me. So I was just kind of weird. It was kind of like weird. So when I talked to him and he seemed really sincere, and I can pretty much tell when a person is sometimes not being really upfront or truthful with me. But he really sounded sincere, and he explained to me what happened and why he wasn't able to, get in contact with me. I just said, "Oh, okay," you know. But I still created that wall. Um, so I think you're right, cutting edge. You do have to be careful to have boundaries, but not create walls because you might miss out on something. So if that was a situation that I felt like I missed out on, it would have been that one because I had created a wall, before I even allowed him to really show himself and really prove that that really was not the case. Right. So I will take accountability for that. Um, Sometimes I'm going to say creating walls, it can be tricky. It can keep bad people out, but it can also keep good people out too. So you have to kind of have a balance of knowing when to create a boundary, and then you'll have to know when to really just walk away fully. So I think that's kind of where I am right now in my life. Um, and I have to be careful not to pull the trigger because I am a person, because I am an emotional creature. I have the tendency to pull the trigger and put the wall up without even knowing really everything, right? And sometimes I would say that's immaturity and foolish on my part too. And that's not all. Some cases I have a right, okay, but some cases I would say on that case I could have probably handled that a little bit better. I could have been a little bit more mature about the situation and hear the person out and let him show me that that was not what his intentions were, right? So we live and we learn. So thank you for that cutting edge. That was a lesson that because I knew that I could have handled that a little bit better, right? And that's hindsight. When you look at things and you're like, okay, yeah, I was kind of not right on that. I didn't get all the information before I made the decision on how I came about it. So you live and you learn. And life is about learning. If you go through life and you never learn anything, you have wasted your time. You wasted your time, and everybody around you, you have did them a disservice by being an idiot. You know, so you need to learn something and apply it to your life. Learn from your mistakes. Now, am I going to make the same mistake? I have really, since I know that I could have did differently on that, that was like a couple of years ago. But I haven't really made that mistake again. But I have the tendency to go ahead and pull the trigger because look, you ain't gonna make me come out looking like a fool. But then I have to catch that and be like, you know what? Am I protecting myself, or am I really building a wall for myself? Because building a wall can also imprison you as well. When your wall is so high and nobody can get around it, I'm talking about good people. I'm not talking about bad people because wall is not always bad for, especially for bad people. But you imprison yourself, and nobody that's worth anything is it can ever penetrate to get in that wall. So you have to kind of know, okay, that's why now I smile a lot more. I notice when I go places, and I kind of have a little smile on my face, or I'm just kind of got something good on my mind. And I'm walking around. People have a lot to say to me. The energy is just good. The different, people feel. I don't know. I don't know if I have the face where people feel like they can play with me or say something funny, and I just kind of laugh because I really do. I do like to laugh a lot, and can be very goofy, especially late at night. And don't let me have some Don Julio and some tequila. But I notice when I have that little smile, or I'm very, just going about life and just having just a decent day. A lot of people will say something funny, and I'll laugh at it, or it's just, I carry myself in a way where now where people are not frightened to say anything to me. Before I had a resting bitch face, because I was so like, I'm protecting myself. No, 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 but now I have gotten to the point now where people feel comfortable saying little things to me. Whether it's about, oh, I like this about you. I like your nails, or oh, where did you get that? I like what you got on and stuff like that. Or I'll have a conversation with somebody, in the store, things like that. If you met me, you probably think I'm one of the most friendliest people in the world, which I am not. Really, a lot of times I don't want to be bothered. But I do find myself talking to people and engaging with people a lot more because I guess maybe they can feel that I'm open more than, maybe in the past where people feel comfortable now to laugh and joke and saying something, funny to me, and I'll respond laughing. Um, because I'm a person, I like to have a good time. I'm not one of those people that always ready to fight and cuss, and I don't do that kind of stuff unless you take me there. Then you know, I'm like when people say you can't bust a grape, they'll find out. Hey, we are all human, and you have to make choices, and sometimes you never know if the choices are right or wrong. Right, David? You said, Miss Selena, I'm sorry. Positive affirmation are positive statements that can help reprogram your mind to believe in your abilities and foster a more optimistic outlook. Ah, cutting edge. You be writing these quotes on Instagram. You got a lot of great quotes, man. I'm telling you. Either you get these quotes on Instagram or you really are highly intelligent. So and forgive me, I'm not trying to be offensive, but you have some really good stuff to say. Sometimes they're a little too deep for me. But programming your mind is basically what, I believe it's in Philippians where it says renewing your mind. You have to constantly renew your mind because if you don't renew your mind, um, you're gonna be messed up. You're gonna always be negative. He said people have to get past the fake until you make it. You do what you need to do and become what you are. That's the big difference. Right. I'll be looking mean and people still come up talking to me. Really? Yeah, they will come up and talk to me too, but their thing was, you look mean. That's what they would say back in the day. And I'm like, it just depends on how you come at me. I'm good, you know. But yeah, they still come up and talk to you, but they kind of look at you crazy first and be like, I don't know if I should talk to her or not. But now, like I say, I'm kind of more easygoing, you know. I was like, it ain't that serious. Life is too short. If I got my basics, I'm good. Look, I always say, if you got a few people that love and like you got food on your table, you ain't on the streets, you have your right mind for the most part. You ain't putting your shoes on your head and your hat on your feet. You doing pretty good, you know. You doing pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Like I say, I'm just thankful for whatever God has given me. I really am. Guys, I've been on here for 3 hours and I don't see how that happened. But I hope that if you are not a subscriber, that you will like, share, and subscribe. For me, I was not, well, I only wanted to offend that troll that came in, but I did not, hopefully, I didn't offend anybody else that came in my life. Hopefully, I won't offend anybody that I really care about or anybody, because I care about my subscribers, my supporters. And I don't have to know people to have sympathy and empathy for people. But hopefully my people that will listen to the playback that likes my content, I hope I didn't offend you in any kind of way. That is not my purpose and my intention. My intention is to tell you what I've learned, what has encouraged me, and what has helped me to keep moving forward. And hopefully it can help you in some type of way. That's the only thing I hope for. I'm in the same. I don't approach anyone. I'm different and strange. I'm a magnet that attracts others. People won't leave me alone. Right, David. I tell you, some days I'm gonna say this. There's some days I don't even want to be bothered with people, and people will still find their way. I'm just like, this can't be real. I have times have said, oh, say for instance, you go somewhere, you may go to the doctor's office or something like that. You sit far away from people. It will be somebody that will find you and sit not next to you, but like in the next seat, you know, uh, after you, and just start talking to you. And I'm like, I said to myself, I sit over here for a reason, but of course I try not to be rude to people and I still will engage. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? I look forward to my times alone. I am a person that can be a life of a party, but I also am a person that enjoys my long time. And because I just do, I like me so much that I can actually have a great time being by myself, to be quite honest with you. Um, when I'm dating someone or in a relationship with someone, I really have to stretch myself because I enjoy my alone time. I had this one guy that I was dating was saying, Selena, I can't even find you sometimes. You just like staying to yourself. And he was like, I was like, yeah, I'm having to stretch to and sacrifice my time. You know, it sounds crazy, but you know, even though we don't want to be alone, sometimes I enjoy the aloneness, but I do, especially now, have to learn to sacrifice a lot of some of my time, especially when you're trying to get to know someone. You definitely have to sacrifice your time, your personal time sometimes, because it will be shared with someone else when you're getting to know someone or even when you have gotten beyond, you getting to know that you just enjoy spending time with a person. And so, even though I enjoy spending time with myself and I enjoy spending time with a person, it can sometimes be a stretch for me, because I enjoy my alone time. I enjoy watching a movie by myself. I enjoy going to a lot of places by myself, to be honest with you, even though I go a lot of places with other people or if I'm going out on a date or whatever. But I do enjoy my alone time. It is very essential, I would say, for me. I'm kind of a mixture between an introvert and a extrovert. I think most people are both, but maybe some people are more one than the other. Um, I think I'm more of a, I don't know, I'm more of an introvert, but I know how to be an extrovert, if that makes sense. Which meaning I know how to have a good time when I'm out. I know how to be the life of the party and just get out there and dance and enjoy a live band or music. And, I just love that. But then I know when the most of the time I enjoy really just thinking within my own thoughts. I don't have to be around a lot of people. Actually, I prefer not to. Um, to be honest with you, if I could be real. But I'm gonna get off this phone and get off this live stream. Hope that you guys got something from what I said today. Early this morning, and because like I said, I'll be live tomorrow or tomorrow today, God willing, at 11:30. I'm having an interview with Miss Mary. Again, she has 15 months to live, and you're going to see her journey through living for 15 months. I mean, well, being sentenced. I don't want to make it sound like she had a prison sentence, but being diagnosed with I would say a certain type of liver cancer, and the doctors gave her 15 months to live, and her journey through going through that, going through those diagnoses, going through, hearing she had 15 months to live and how she got through that and how where she is today. I think that's going to be a great story, guys. And David, are you a new person? Have you ever been to my channel? You said I'm more of an introvert. I don't like people. Yeah, and I get it too. And if anything, YouTube will make you not like people even more. But I definitely understand that, Mika. Thank you. Could I couldn't sleep. I was dealing with setting boundaries with someone. This was a blessing. Thank you so much, Deborah. Shout out to you. Um, yeah, you gotta set boundaries with folks, and some people you just gotta put a complete wall up. But like I said, let a person show you who they are before you just say go by your thoughts. Because sometimes we could be wrong. Don't think I've been here before. Okay, well please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that if you do. Shout out to everybody that came through and showed me some love. I know most people had went on to sleep. You said me too, more introvert. A great live, nice chit chat. Yeah, nice chit chat with you, Cutting Edge. And shout out to you. And you need to write a book. Turn on the lights, motivation and lifestyle. Turn on the light for what? 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 If I turn on the light, what you want to see? Hmm. You want to see my hair bunny? That's what you want to see. You want to see my nightgown? Is that what you want to see? Turn on the light. Child, I'm gonna come to your channel and tell you to turn on the light. See what y'all a trip. Some of y'all a trip. But anyway, like I said, at least you're not as rude as the other one that came through. I had to go tell him to go find his granny. 'Cause she didn't whoop him. She didn't whoop him with like he needs to be whooped. He need a good old grandmama beat down. So big mama, you said see your face. I know if I've been here. Oh, okay. Well, you'll see my face tomorrow. Tonight, you will not see my face in my hair bunny. Okay. I don't even know what time it is, but you will see me if you come tomorrow. You will see me tomorrow. But this is my face right here that you see. I'm not like some women. I don't catfish. So this is my face right here. So that's what you need to see for tonight. Y'all be blessed. Love you to Reese's Pieces. And for those who have came to be new around and my on my channel, this is your first time. I hope that you like, share, and subscribe. Oh my God, is that late? Okay, I need to go on the bed. But love y'all to Reese's Pieces. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh, how the hell do I get out of here? I'm sleepy.